It is Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Collider Live here, and we are back in the studio. Joining us today, full house, as we start with the man, the myth, the legend, texting in the back, the outlaw, John Roca.
Hello, everyone.
Texting in the front, Josh McCouga.
Hey.
About to text or check his chat in a little bit is Mark Yodi Riley. And the most professional in the room is the Princess of Death, Darina.
I'm the most professional?
Well, you're not texting
Damn.
right now, so yes.
That says a lot about you guys.
It'll change pretty soon.
Why is he here?
That's nice. he saw the movie. Toy Story 4. Saw Toy Story.
Why the fuck is he here?
That's it. There you go.
Yeah.
Starting off hot.
Why are we all here?
Why is any of us here?
Should we get philosophical already?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Hello, Darina.
How's it going?
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
How are you?
When's the taco
I'm a little
crawl?
hungover. This Saturday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was at E3
Nice.
this week. That was fun.
Oh, yeah.
Played
How was
some
E3?
games.
What'd you play? What was the
took
best
some
thing that you
photos.
played? Did you play a Star Wars game?
No.
Okay. Sorry to
Because
ask.
I went directly
Yeah,
to
really cut your
Nintendo because
face
that's
off,
what I
man.
do.
How was it? Was it good?
Yeah, I love Nintendo.
Okay. What'd you
I played
play?
Luigi's Mansion 3. I
Right.
played Link's Awakening.
Mm-hmm. And which was the better one, Stone? I mean, which one was the better one?
Yeah.
Well, obviously Zelda.
Well said.
But no, it was fun. And then last night we went to the IGN party. So
Oh, nice.
Dorian was there, Emma,
Fun.
Nathan, who will be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's right. Nathan Hamill's coming. So that's a reminder to everyone that tomorrow's show will be 10:30, not 10. So if you go to tune in tomorrow at 10 and go, hey, where the hell are they? 10:30 tomorrow, special time just for tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30. Today is going to be exciting because we'll talk about all this stuff that we're obviously, whether it's Toy Story or Dr. Sleep trailer, we're going to talk about all that stuff for sure. But the most exciting thing about today, it's Ralph Macchio.
Mad.
Ralph Macchio. I know you missed that one.
So mad.
Now you know
No,
how
but
Roxy
happy
feels.
for you guys.
Yeah, Ralph Macchio. So it was about, Cody was about 23 minutes or so?
About 21.
21?
Is
All
he
right.
the coolest?
He was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he tells a great story about Elizabeth Shue that alone is worth watching.
Awesome.
Yeah. Nice.
So it'll be the end of the show. So around 11:40, we'll sign off, and you guys can watch the interview with Ralph Macchio that myself, McCougs, and Roxy did. So
We yesterday, Jeff Snyder rolled up to our desk in a very bright yellow shirt he was wearing.
He-
Do you
yeah.
concur?
He can
John?
rock.
You're very
It was-
impressed.
he can rock.
Yeah,
Very,
I
very
needed
bright.
sunglasses to
I
watch
don't know
it.
about that. But he came over and he was like, "You guys watching Cobra Kai?" And we're like, "Yes,
Yes.
stupid." You watch Cobra Kai? He's like, "What, it's on YouTube?" I was like, "Jeff,
He's
go
never
back to your
seen it?
He
desk."
said it in
Wait,
a
does
way
he
that
not
was like
know
looking down
about
on
it?
No,
us.
he knows.
Shocker.
Get back to your
Yeah.
desk.
Oh.
I'm always shocked by this because Jeff looks like he just stumbled out of a dumpster at the 7-Eleven, and he's the one that's going to judge your taste.
Totally.
And he has
Exactly.
highfalutin
But
taste
that's
on
his,
TV
but
and
that's
films.
his, but that's
You're
his
right.
brand.
You're right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess
True.
so.
Brand. He knows that.
He has to
so.
walk into a room and just be an idiot.
Well, that's his brand, and he embraces it.
The Snyder brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife's mad at you.
Me?
Yeah.
Why? Did I recommend a show you didn't like?
You're, and I'll tell you what. I know this will get me in trouble in my house. I'm on your side 100%.
Okay.
Because I'm obsessed with Barry.
Oh.
Obsessed
Did
with-
she not like it?
She can't do it.
Really?
Julie
It's not
can't
for-
either.
Because,
I don't
so
understand
there's
it.
something, because
It's
here's,
not for everyone, but I love it.
it is,
It's
and-
so
well,
good.
So it was funny because my mother-in-law was a big Dexter fan, right? So I texted her and I said, you should watch.
Comes in perfectly.
Yeah, you should watch Barry because it's very similar to Dexter. It's like the dark comedy version of Dexter with a sprinkle of like Breaking Bad in it. And I was like, it's not like Dexter. I'm like, it's exactly like Dexter.
Yeah.
He even wears the same shirts as Dexter.
Totally.
I mean, it's Dexter.
Yeah.
So we got into
I
a
like
little,
it better than Dexter.
I do too.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing, though. Dexter.
Hot
is,
take.
But the first.
You
No,
don't?
it's fine.
First
I like it
couple
more than
seasons of
Dexter.
The first 4 seasons of Dexter are hard to beat, but the problem with Dexter is that after season 4, that's what you judge it on. You judge it on the last couple seasons because they were terrible. So you only really have 2 seasons of Barry to judge it. So I'm not going to go there yet. But what I will, because if Barry falls off from 3 on, then then Dexter wins. But regardless, there's something, and I don't want to spoil for people who haven't seen it, but season 1, like I said, it goes in different directions that you don't think it's going to. And Barry's not, he's not a good dude.
No.
And that's kind of the dilemma that he's having with
He's
himself.
not
And
crap. I've been reading this show completely wrong.
but
no,
he's
I'm kidding.
but he's having this dilemma with
trying.
himself, and it's just something. There's a couple of things that happen, and I told my wife what happened. She's like, "Why am I rooting for this person?" I'm like, "You're not necessarily supposed to root for him." She's like, "Well, why? This is like I don't know why people like this show. Like, why would you want to watch a show with this is the main character?" It's like because it's clever, it's funny. The whole point is like where is he going to get a comeuppance? What's going to happen? Will he find a different kind of moral ground? I mean, that's kind of why
The
you
show
find it.
is an internal struggle of a man
Yeah.
that only has really one
A
option.
damaged dude.
Totally.
Especially when they
Totally
get into,
damaged, yeah.
Wait to
because
see. Are you in season 2?
I'm at season 2. I'm around like 3 episodes in.
Okay.
I'm not to the episode yet. I'm not to
But
the
it's
episode.
interesting though
Okay.
because like if you look at a show like Breaking Bad where most of us were still rooting for Walter White even
little
though he
bit.
becomes a bad person,
Right.
and like
And that's the
what's
beauty of like Bryan Cranston.
yeah, right. So but then is that because we knew him before he turned bad and that we're still rooting for him even though he turns evil later on?
I think so.
Because-
I think with Walter White, you like him because he's going. Right when you meet him,
Right.
he gets cancer. He's a teacher.
Yeah.
And so you get into him for that,
yeah,
and
and
then
it's
you
also-
want him to turn back.
And it's
Yeah,
also
but
the
that
lesser.
is just interesting.
Yeah, but it's also a lesser of two evils scenario too, because when you're rooting for Walter White at the end, why? Because he's taking out people who are worse than him.
Totally.
Right.
You know, like that like when he's doing really despicable things, like stuff like, you know, whether it's
Giving the kid the poison.
all that stuff, like when
Right.
it, like
I can
that,
watch
like you
He
can't.
does some messed up stuff
You
though.
can't root for him. And
Yeah.
you're not rooting for him during that time. You're rooting for him for different scenarios. And like I said, at the very end of that show, again, spoiler for Breaking Bad, is that he gets what's coming to him.
Well, I think that's why you cast the way you cast when you pick a lead. Like Bill Hader's a guy you want to take home and hang out with.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
hard
Right.
to root against him. It's hard to be against
Right.
him. Same thing, Cranston as well. Even if you want to go to the extreme, Gandolfini, that's a terrible, terrible
Right.
person. But from the beginning. But we sympathize with him because he's going through that psychological stuff and he's going to therapy.
Because they
he's
show
trying
you
to
his
figure it
family,
out.
and they show you his family.
right.
They show you his life. They don't
Exactly.
show you just the gangster. They show you
Right.
the dad and the husband and all that stuff. And he's not good at any of those
Exactly.
things.
No.
But it's still you're exactly right when you're bringing up Tony Soprano, because that reminded me just of people, not the gangster side of it, but the families. People that I grew up with in
Right.
the East
Right.
Coast.
Right.
So you relate to a lot of these people. But the other thing we talked about the other day is like those acting classes and the way that they bring that stuff
Yeah.
in. Because
Yeah.
Henry Winkler is not necessarily a good guy
No.
in this. He's a selfish prick. And-
I was
As
going to
most
ask if
actors are.
if your wife likes
yeah.
Henry
She
Winkler
does,
because he's
but-
hysterical.
Yeah, she does, but she just doesn't. She doesn't like the other element of it. So she's like, I'm not listening to Josh anymore. And I'm like, she's like, you're like singing. She's like, you're singing his praises, like about every
Well, and
show.
you-
Unfairly maligned
Unfairly.
here for you, McCoogs.
Yeah.
you can call Sadie, and I'd like to talk to her. But
Yeah, she's not feeling good about calling her right now.
Should I call her right now?
No.
No? All right.
But so, if you love it, like if you both were kind of like,
Right.
maybe this wasn't a Makuga swing,
No.
right? But listen, Amanda doesn't really watch it. When I start turning on Barry, she goes back to doing whatever
Yeah.
she's doing, and I don't know if it's because of the same reason that Sadie is, or what. But for her to cut my opinion on a
because-
show that is winning Emmys and is clearly well respected by
I'm gonna
everybody,
I'm
in the
gonna
community.
give you 4 words.
Okay.
Welcome to my life. Okay. So you don't win. You don't win that. You don't win that
Yes.
argument.
Yeah.
You don't
But
win.
and
You're right,
also,
you're right.
and to be fair, like I would not trust your movie taste if you recommended a movie to me, but definitely
TV.
would trust your TV.
Yeah,
taste,
for
Yes.
for
sure.
sure.
No,
Yes,
no.
you have-
I'm on board with the
I
TV
think
choices.
we're all in agreement
Yes.
on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm never listening to you when it comes to movies, but
Check
TV,
that off
but
in the
TV
notes.
for sure.
I will say
And
one
Barry's
thing.
great.
I will say one thing. My girlfriend did not like the first season, tuned out after the third episode, but just casually, because she's at the living room working on stuff. When I was watching season 2, she got sucked back
Yeah.
and then watched the whole season and loved it.
Ah.
So it may just be the first season doesn't appeal
I
to
don't
maybe
know.
the female demographic,
Maybe right.
other than
Hey!
the Princess of Death over there.
Right.
But maybe the second season appeals because more well-rounded, because she also has more of a central role in the second season as
think
well.
it's just the character.
love interest.
It's just the character. It's the character, the effect
I
of
think
what
it
he
just
does
depends on
and who
what
you're
you
following.
and what you like, and like you said, like if the character that you're supposed to sympathize with not is actually killing bad people, then
Right.
that's different, right? Like I don't know if you guys saw Hannibal, one of the best shows.
I watched
but
a lot of
That's the
Hannibal.
whole point
Yeah.
is he ate people that
We're
weren't
bad people.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, that's why
Dexter.
and that's why you rooted for Dexter for so long,
Right.
and then like towards the end of it, it's like he started losing his way, and he's definitely harder to root for, and that series alone.
I think there was a lot of people that if you pitch them Breaking Bad, and a lot of them are people that I know, good friends of ours, that were like, I didn't watch Breaking Bad. Somebody pitch it like a guy trying to save himself by selling meth. And I was
Right.
like, that's not the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like the elevator pitch of that show for a common person would be, a guy gets cancer and he can't make enough money as a teacher, so he
genius,
starts.
by the way,
Right.
a very smart guy.
It's like a genius finding his Microsoft.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right.
Right?
And it
Yeah.
just happens to be an illegal Microsoft.
Correct.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. But anyway, so you're in the shit house in one side of our house. The other side, you're in good standing.
I mean, really and truly, does Vivian and Maisie still like me? Because if that's the truth, then I'm fine.
yeah, they do. Just don't start recommending Barry to my 7-year-old, please, because she'll watch it, and then I have to start explaining
You
to the
should
teacher.
watch Barry. It's about a tiger
Yeah, sure,
in a
right,
forest,
right.
and he hangs out.
And Aladdin shows up.
Right. That'll definitely
That'll get
that'll
it,
definitely get her. I mean, if I got to hear either one jump or speechless one more fucking time, I got to tell you, like like,
Whole New World.
no, it's those other two, and it's just which
Wait,
both
what are you
speech
talking about?
for the new Aladdin movie.
One
So
jump,
my
had the
daughter,
bread
my
line.
daughter's
No, I love that song. But
Me
what?
too.
But what CD is she listening to? Or
the
what
live
spot?
action. She's like,
God damn it.
she's obsessed with it. You gotta remember.
Why
that,
aren't you
that
playing her the good version?
She has both. She's listening to both, but she likes the live action one. To her, the 7-year-old, that's what she like. That
Tell your 7-year-old daughter there's too much auto tune and it's badly produced. Music.
That's what I'm going to tell my 7-year-old.
Sure, she'll get after me.
Yeah, that's right. And then we can have the Christmas conversation
Vivian,
next.
if you don't mind sitting down there.
Yeah, no,
You know that's what I would do.
A woman we call the Princess of Death
Yes.
said that this CD is auto-tuned and you're an idiot for listening to it.
I didn't say you're an idiot.
Yeah, she's gonna look at it. She's gonna look at her. And
I
say,
said her daddy
I
was
need
an
you
idiot.
I need you to grow up fast. I need you to grow up fast. And here's how you do your taxes. So like, anyways, but she loves it. But the good news is that she will get my the 1.5-year-old. Like, if my wife and I are really exhausted, they put on One Jump Ahead and they're running around the house, acting it out the whole time.
Were they parkouring around the house? That'd be
More
cool.
or less. That's what that couch turns into. And the baby doesn't realize that she's a poo, but she is. And so she'll be running through the house like waving her arms, and then the 7-year-old screaming, "Come on, a poo, come on!" running through, and it puts the little hat on her and
Pretty
stuff.
good,
too.
right?
But and then they pass out, so
yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
It works for everybody.
It's like a puppy. You run them until they pass out.
That's. I mean, look, you ain't lying.
That's
Are you
exactly
the
what I do.
carpet?
I'm sleeping at that. But if the carpet, if the new magic carpet just sleeps for
Yeah.
most of it and then
Then
flies every once in a while,
you
yes,
can be the carpet.
That's right. That's right. What else? There's something else. D23 was just talking to Thad about. D23, I guess they have their schedule out, and I guess they're going to do the majority of like the Disney Plus and all that on that Friday in August, and then Saturday will be all the movies, Marvel and Star Wars and all that stuff. So. And then they announced Star Wars Celebration.
Do you think with all that, there's that would mean they're not doing anything at Comic Con?
No, they'll
Okay.
do. Well, I don't think they're going to do any Disney Plus at Comic Con. They're going to save that. That'll be the big day, and then Marvel, and I don't know if Star Wars will do Comic Con, maybe, but Marvel.
They're saying
is.
they are.
Are they? So either way.
Well, maybe that was speculation on some of the writers here.
But either way, July and August is going to be big as far as because it's really Disney Plus. Disney Plus, you're going to see you'll see Mandalorian stuff. Maybe you'll hear more about Cassian. Maybe you won't.
You're going to
But
see Loki stuff.
You're going to see
'cause
Loki
there was
stuff.
that image.
Right. You're going to see maybe Lady and the Tramp stuff. You're going to see a bunch of things and maybe more plans and maybe an announcement of some other series. So
Obi-Wan.
who knows? So there may be.
And the Lord of the Rings, frankincense, and Mordor.
That's good.
Jesus
But that's
Christ.
Nicely done.
It is.
You better follow that up with Meryl Streep. You better follow that up with Meryl
It is
Streep.
Amazon.
Hey, Christian,
Yes.
Christian,
Lord
you
of
want
the
to
Rings.
make sure you circle that announcement there, huh?
I got it. Because I want to make sure that because I always listen.
God forbid the font and the coloring doesn't catch your eye.
It never works. We have the conversation every day. I'm just like, hey, how come we didn't cover this? Like, it's in the notes. I'm
You have like 5 giant
This is my favorite thing.
asterisks.
To Riley's credit, this is you can at least read it. When Roka comes in, you got to be Ant-Man to make this look
Yeah,
giant.
because I try to put it all on one page. Clearly, that's not the right way to go.
No.
So I will separate it out from now on
Thank
for
you.
the older people in the room who need big
My
letters.
favorite thing
Thanks,
you
John.
did was there's got to be a better way to get these things to me. Then on the notes,
yes,
I was sitting
well,
there.
because I stand by that. I stand by that because there's so much here to where you want to be like because like this links like these are just links like I gotta look at
Mark, next time can you
because-
please just
but that's just
deliver
me. That's just
all
what
the
I do.
information
Because
directly
what
to
I-
his brain
No,
so he
because
doesn't
what I-
have to read and think?
here I got it. I just sent you the notes.
What I'm saying is, as far as like when it comes to like if we need to, like a clip, if there's a clip that we need to watch, it's like, hey, there's that helicopter clip. Oh, where is that? Okay, let's play. Like this is just links.
That's what I'm saying.
That's for the kids in the booth.
Right.
Right, but but how am I? Some of the stuff
right there.
I know, but it's still.
That.
I
And
don't
then down below.
this. But you know how there's certain systems that work for certain people. This doesn't work.
Here's
Why
what
don't you
here's what
make a
do.
sheet
Right.
the way you would like it to look?
Yeah.
But I don't need a sheet. All I'm saying is if they're for new, like, so when Roca did the news, I guess when he was here two weeks ago, he just kind of breaks it down and says, okay, hey, you guys want to talk about this?
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the simple thing, because especially in the middle, like,
Put it all on one page.
for those notes when we have like.
But it's not. Hey, listen, no,
Put it
I'm
all on
not
one
criticizing the way you
This
do it.
is
I'm
it's
suggesting
a
that
very fascinating
I'm
conversation.
suggesting that for this particular host, Kristian Harloff, you print out 2 pages and then tape them together so he can see it like he's looking at a computer screen.
I'm going
you
to
gotta
get a
understand who you're dealing
chalkboard,
with.
and I'm going to put
Yeah,
the chalkboard
that's actually
right
a smart,
there.
even a better move.
To be honest with you,
It's genius.
that's way better. Like, because no, and it is because it's just
I'm
because,
gonna look into it.
and I find this isn't
gotta
even
be in the budget
necessarily-
somewhere.
But this isn't even necessarily you. Like, even when I have like an interview and I'm talking to somebody too, I don't like to. I feel like my attention's being diverted, and they're like, oh, he's not paying attention. I'm looking
Why
at the
don't you
notes
just put
here.
the whiteboard on the person's face that you're interviewing?
Go full
We
like
could do
Danger
that.
Mouse.
But I mean, like, if we had like a board up there with like notes, it's not a bad idea. But I do like that Benedict Wong picture.
Can I do an impression for you real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so at about 11:40 today, we're going to go to the Ralph Macchio
Yes.
interview. And about 5 minutes after that, I'm going to be sitting at my desk, and Mark Riley's going to sit in his chair, and he's going to do this.
Yep.
And that's going to be that's my impression of Riley's thoughts on this conversation.
It's good.
You're
actually.
not wrong.
Yeah, it's good.
You're not wrong.
I've seen it. You're right.
Yeah.
It's good.
Hey, I got
There might be some
something to tell you
crying underneath it too, so I don't know.
guys. First, we're giving away 2 13 Hours DVDs later today
Yeah.
with some show questions and a couple
You
Ralph
give him to
Macchio
Ellis?
questions.
You gonna give him to Ellis?
Yes,
The 13 hours
he's gonna,
movies? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He lives for that movie. Second, I got a text message, and since the Chicago show, Ryan Snelling and I have become text buddies.
Yes.
right?
Nice.
I don't have
Shirts.
No. So he's sending me a shirt they're making
Yeah,
for the site.
I got a text
Did
about
you
it
get
this
a
morning.
text
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't
psyched
wouldn't
about it.
reveal what it is.
I'm
yet.
not.
Yeah, we'll wait until you do it on the
very
air.
excited. And then I started texting him about Yacht Rock, and he's like, you really got one note? And I was like, I got one note. I'm trying to get on that Sight and Sound podcast to talk about Yacht Rock.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
Chicago tickets.
Dude,
where?
when?
Okay, we're talking after.
Yeah, I got them from. I didn't see. It's funny because I got them from Heidi and Frank this morning. I get
Yes.
tickets for every time I go in, and I can never go because I don't have a life on the weekends. And so I usually give tickets away, but I couldn't give away free tickets. I had Santana tickets. I was trying to give away.
Oh, I
Yeah,
would've
you
taken
offered me
Santana.
first because
Yeah.
Or the
Mexican.
Latino in the room would have taken it.
No, he didn't
C.
want them.
C.
I did ask him. He
No,
said
you never
C.
asked me. Not a Santana.
I asked everybody in this office.
Well, I must not have been
As
there
for
that
Dad.
day.
And they said no. And then so I was like, that's.
Well, he was too busy.
And I
know.
thought Chicago was going to be tough too. So I come in here and it went quick. Roca took them and then gave
Yeah,
them
no
to Riley.
kidding.
So you weren't here
Well,
yet.
I'll talk to you.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
I love Chicago.
Yeah.
yeah.
I've
We're
never
July
seen them. I
27th.
would see them.
Is that it?
It's July
27th.
27th.
You
Are you at
here?
a wedding or anything?
Yeah, you might be.
No, I'm here.
It's the day after
All
my
right.
birthday. I want to go.
It's after Comic Con, so we're
Yeah,
in
it's the week
town.
after. It's the
Yeah.
week after. So.
Yeah. Did I tell you guys? Yes. Did you guys? Did I tell you? Speaking of Yacht Rock, I saw Michael McDonald,
What?
Kenny
Last year.
Loggins,
I was out of
and,
town.
Christopher Cross.
Yeah,
Nice.
the 3. That's the Mount Rushmore of Yacht Rock.
Yeah.
That is.
It
Yeah, I
is.
think you would have enjoyed that.
So
Josh.
yeah,
Totally.
so we got those tickets this morning.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you like
Yeah,
them too?
negotiate.
Chicago?
Okay.
No, the other three.
Who's the
Oh, yeah.
fourth?
Come on.
So good.
Kenny Loggins is.
On the Mount
the
Rushmore.
fourth? Yes.
So you got. Listen, there are a lot of one-hit wonders in Yacht Rock.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if I was going to put somebody in there, I'd probably put Boz Scaggs on the Mount Rushmore.
Okay,
Good
that's
choice.
a good one.
But you could put. I mean, here's the thing: you got these one-hit wonders with songs that will blow your mind, like Robbie Dupree's "Steal Away"
Right.
is a yacht rock anthem, but he has nothing else. Ken and I talked about this on the afternoon. Robbie Dupree's greatest hits is him singing "Steal Away" in 5 different languages.
Right.
Nice.
That's his
Rupert
greatest
Holmes.
hits.
Doesn't Rupert Holmes?
Rupert Holmes, but that song, it is a yacht rock song.
It is.
But that song is so effed up.
If you like pina coladas.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? I'm glad you're on the show today because yesterday.
Don't tell Josh.
Well,
He's
you're on
asking
the
why
show.
the fuck I was in here. Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
Because yesterday on the show, I meant to bring it up, but it got away from me. Was this
know her.
amazing speech by Jon Stewart?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they won.
And it worked.
And it worked.
So, well, I want to get.
They won.
Well, because that's also the power of the internet too. You know, it's
Yeah.
Jon Stewart is a respected voice in general because he knew how to blend comedy with political take, and he's very respected in the industry. And you saw why when he had this speech about the first responders to 9/11 and the way that they've been treated over the years and essentially ignored by Congress, and what a fantastic speech, honest speech. There was no, like, sometimes you can see whether a politician, actor,
like an agenda,
or there's a performance
Slinging
in it.
mud.
This was just a raw emotion, passion, good human being speaking from his heart. And he did it. And it was funny because even though he was shaming Congress in the way that he was saying it, he was still respectful. Like he did this whole speech where you're just kind of on the edge of your chair listening to this man speak about protecting these people, and he just says, you know, they did their job, do yours, right? And then he goes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And it's like that's a professional. That's somebody who wanted to be heard, who did have an agenda.
Totally.
But it was a good agenda.
But it was a good agenda.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, because a lot of people, and listen, I'm not like somebody that doesn't believe in climate change or something like that, but there's a lot of people that go about trying to get people on board with climate change in the wrong way. Right, like they.
That can be said for a lot of different topics.
Totally, 100%. But you're right. The way Jon Stewart did it, because dude, there isn't, and I've never. Trevor Noah's fine on the Daily Show. I think he's good, but he's no Jon Stewart.
Right.
Jon Stewart is probably the greatest political talk show host we've ever had in this country.
I think so, especially as you see Mark kind of descend into his own biases and prejudices.
Totally.
Jon Stewart remains still untouchable in that way. In his presentation here, when you remember what he did on the Daily Show, bringing those people in, the first responders, and then coming back to it, and 3 of them couldn't show up of the 4 that had shown up the first time. Right. 2 were extremely sick. 1 had already died, and the 2 were fighting off cancer. So this is why it's it's an issue near and dear to his heart, and you could tell through those 8 minutes how much he's gone to know these people, and so what he was speaking about, and the fact that Congress was like what, a quarter full, half, there was hardly anybody
and
there.
That's what he was saying,
right? And they asked, I think
they
McConnell,
don't do their jobs,
right? And I think they asked McConnell about it. He's like, oh yeah, I'm sure we'll get around to it and voting. I don't see why we wouldn't. It's like, yeah, because everyone's caught in this battle over the impeachment of Trump. That this real issue here,
stuff that works,
people should have shown up for it
because
these people showed up for us.
Yeah, and because Congress keeps literally, like, everybody, most people in the government, all they're working is for re-election instead of actually helping people. Like that's what's so crazy.
That's what I loved about him,
Congress
though.
Terms, because Senate's 6, right? Senate's 6 years.
Yeah.
The Congress needs to be 4 years. It does.
But he made all those points, though. My favorite point that he made was too. Everyone said this, whether it's a New York thing, is this was an attack on the Tribeca. This was an attack on America.
Yeah.
You know, and he did this. It was just so. But it was well thought out. It was well said. But it was also. But there was so much passion behind it that it didn't seem rehearsed. It didn't seem like there was a purpose. And so what happened as far as you say they won? What did they
ended up getting
win?
the 5-year extension to cover the benefits and all that. But the fact that it's only 5 years is the level of ridiculousness overall, because it should be unlimited for what you did. I mean, if Armageddon, you could not pay taxes for the rest of your life for blowing up an asteroid, you sure as hell get taken care of to the end of your life if you contracted your cancer or your sickness from being there as a first responder. Right. So many people have died that way. So to me, it shouldn't be like a 5-year thing. It should be unlimited until you have to keep getting tested. Once you get completely cleared, then at that point you're removed off the program.
Right.
But you should be unlimited. This 5-year window is bullshit.
If you watch the show Billions, which is one of the best shows on television, Bobby Axelrod made his money after 9/11, and a lot of people who were part of 9/11 think that he did it wrong. But a lot of the money that he has made in his life, he has, in the show at least, he's given to the thing, and he's given to the survivors and the people that are affected. And first, what needs to happen with this fund, and it's unfortunate because the government really can't do that, is they need to privatize it and have the people that invest in it make the money for it, like a police pension or a fireman's pension.
Sure.
Because yes, there are some gray areas, but those people need to be taking that money that they're getting and making money on it, because the government is not smart enough to do that. You need financial advisors to do it.
Yeah. Well, either way, I mean, I don't disagree with you, John. I think that it should be more than 5, but it's a start.
Yeah.
It's a start in the fact that Jon Stewart used. This is why I think a lot of times, sometimes when celebrities and others tweet out and people say shut up and focus on TV or shut up and focus on this, I think that's where like you can see that
tell that
people,
to the president who was on TV.
but regardless, you can see you can see the influence of what people who have a good cause can accomplish with their celebrity, and I think Jon Stewart did that. So good on him. It's nice to see a good human being out there doing.
Jon Stewart's not dumb enough to run for president. Like he's not. He's too smart to know that if he ran for president, he would be an amazing president, but I think he's too smart to know like what the toll on his life that would be.
And it's also you get put into a political system to where you can, it's like you have
there's not a lot of control you have.
No, lobbyists and all this kind of stuff. It's just too much inside of it. It's the machine.
That's why
like you become because you're not becoming like a president. You're becoming part of a team. You're either part of the left team or you're part of the right team. You're part of a team. You can be the leader of the team, but you're still part of the team. And the thing is that the way that the teams work now, my personal opinion is both sides. It doesn't work.
No,
I mean, it's because it's either our side's right, your side's wrong, or our side's right, your side's wrong. There's no
reaching across the aisle anymore.
No, there's no at all. There's no collective of like we're all in this together. Yeah. It's like you guys stink. No, you guys stink.
And both sides in government aren't a good representation of us.
No, either side.
No.
It's just like there's like I can't stand a lot of the stuff that the far right does, and I go crazy with a lot of the shit the far. I can't stand both sides, and it's just like, but
the moderation in politics doesn't exist anymore.
No. So anyway, but
and when Joe Biden said that recently that he wants to go back to, he can't wait for post-Trump America when he can work with the Republicans again.
I hope he goes away.
He got destroyed. He got destroyed by all the other side.
Because it's all of these, no offense to everybody in this room, but it's all these old people that are trying to make decisions that are not at all what younger people want. Like it's not a good representation of any of our generations. That's why I think Keanu should run for 2020.
It'd be good.
I hate to break it to you. He's in his 50s.
I know.
But he's perfect. He's a vampire, so he's been around for centuries.
It's true. I actually saw something yesterday where I don't know what show it was, but they showed his Coca-Cola commercial. Have you ever seen it? It's so funny. Like the
old one?
Yeah. So he's in a bike race. It's like 1982 or something, 83. And he's in a bike race, and his dad's training him in the commercial. And his dad goes, "I'm proud of you," and hands him a Coke. And Keanu answers, "Coke." No other response. I'm proud of you. Coke. It's pretty great.
Perfect.
It's pretty great.
You guys
so
saw the
launched
Holy
the
Three
career.
thing, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
So
I don't know what any of that means, but it looks cool.
What the Coke?
Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk.
I don't know what that game is, but I mean the fact that Keanu Reeves in it, fucking cool.
But you know about it now.
Yes,
that's kind of the main thing. Just real quick, I mentioned it kind of briefly, but that Star Wars Celebration also they announced. Normally it's in April. But it's going to be in August in Anaheim next year.
Oh, great. Nothing like August in Anaheim.
No, but I also, it's true, it's going to be hot. But I also think
I feel like it's in Anaheim every 4 years or something like that.
Well,
right?
it was Anaheim. This will be 6 years because Anaheim in 2015.
Right.
There was rumors that it was supposed to be in Anaheim this year, but now that they're doing it next year, and because if you think about it, it makes sense for them normally to do it in April when they have a film coming out. Because it gives you about 7-8 months still to market it out. There's no films coming out next year or the following. So it's going to be pretty heavy on probably Disney Plus, and maybe you get, at that time in August, you get a little information on the Benioff Weiss stuff.
Yeah.
But it's going to be pretty heavy on the TV shows, I think, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And because Clone Wars comes out this year.
Yeah.
I mean, Clone Wars, you got Mandalorian coming out, and Rise of Skywalker. Big close.
How much do you think about Star Wars every day? Like how many hours a day?
Not that much. No, not that much. When it comes to when news and stuff that's coming out, like then I start to kind of formulate as far as what's going to happen. Yeah, so
that's kind of like how much I think about death every day.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, you should do your own show.
Yeah. Collider Dead.
Death Council.
Collider Dead.
Yeah.
Just reading weird obituaries on the podcast.
Death Watch.
You could come in and do pun obituaries.
Myrna Collins was 67, choked on a cigarette butt, and died today. Ken? I like that one, Cody. You can go fuck yourself.
Back to you.
Flip the page over. You'll get the link.
Thank you so much. I don't even know too. But, so I guess we can pop in the news here. I want to get the best newsman in the business. Roka, what do we got?
There it is. No, Roka, he asked you a question. I text some people.
I can switch you out of that attitude immediately. Let's talk about Dr. Sleep.
There you go.
So
There
here's
you
the
go.
thing: with the Dr. Sleep trailer came this morning, and Riley sends it out immediately, and said, "Watch this now." And it is so when it was announced. It was weird because people were saying they wasn't really sure if it was a sequel to The Shining or was it a sequel to the book, because obviously the book itself
book
is
is
a
a
sequel to The
sequel.
Shining.
Yeah.
But was this going to be a sequel to the Kubrick film or not?
Right.
You see this trailer and it's pretty hard to say that it's not because they show clips from the
Right.
movie. There's music from the movie. There it is.
Yeah.
Yes, Cody.
And and he's playing Danny.
Yeah, and I remember
Red
now
Rum.
because we got some announcement about the film, and then we were going to talk about it on Movie Talk or something, and the rep sent a follow-up being like, just to clarify, it's not a sequel to Kubrick's Shining.
Right.
I now remember that.
But that could
certainly
be
is.
that just could
And
be
now it
because Stephen King, right, originally didn't love it
Oh, he
because it was so
he hated the
different.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
So maybe they're just trying to do a direct sequel to The Shining, like the book.
But they use clips from the movie.
But that's maybe that. I wonder how much of that's going to be in the movie, and this is more to get people to go watch
Well,
it
I mean,
because
that's
I don't
dangerous.
know unless you're like a huge horror nut like Riley and I. I wonder if people even know what Dr. Sleep is.
Well, that's
right?
what he said, but that's what Makuga said. But I was talking to Perry about this beforehand too, and I think she made a good point. She said that what it could also have been was not necessarily that. Just to know that it's not a direct sequel from like The Overlook, even though you see him go back to The Overlook where he sees the cracks in the door of here's Johnny.
Yeah.
But it's more, and it's also tone wise because you can.
Is that the Overlook, or is that his brain producing some sort of Overlook thing?
Could be too, but The Shining itself.
Look at Josh
Yeah.
thinking deeply.
Did you read
Yeah.
the book?
The Shining itself was a horror film, right?
Yeah.
This looks like a kind of psychological thriller.
Totally.
A lot more so. There's going to be horror elements for sure.
It's
but
gonna
I think
it's gonna go straight horror soon.
it does.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because the book is
fantastic.
I'm glad they didn't show too many scares.
yeah.
yeah, there's.
That's a good.
But this
that's-
goes
I mean,
back
but
to-
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It is.
The
it
trailer
does,
was thriller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does walk that
Yeah.
line of psychological thriller with a lot of horror elements,
Yeah.
and the book is one of the best
Yeah.
in his library. I would say.
I agree.
So-
It should be called. I mean, if you want to call it Dr. Sleep, great, but it should be like Dr. Sleep, A Shining Story. Like it should be something.
I know, no, it's
like
I'm
a
just
Star
saying.
Wars story.
Yeah.
but it goes back to the conversation that we
Like
had
Dark Phoenix.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Because
Danny
like
Torrance takes Manhattan.
Sure.
Yeah, well, the hardcore
Dunstan
fans,
checks in.
the hardcore fans are going to know what it is. If
Yeah.
you read the
Sure.
book, you're going to know what it is, right? But it's like, will audiences right away know? But then again, like you're really marketing the people who are going to come out to this thing in droves are the fans of the original, and I
Yeah.
think they'll catch on to it, right? But,
And
They're
it's-
going to. The Red Rum is already in the
That's
market.
right.
And the
But
poster
here's-
comes
But
out.
here's the difference
The
between like
poster's
Dark
awesome.
Phoenix and Transformers as compared to this. Those movies are big, huge, blockbuster, $200 million movies that need people to see it. So you put it every single way possible to get them in that theater. This doesn't necessarily need that. This movie probably costs like $15-20 million. Probably more than that. Maybe 30.
Also, Ian McGregor is someone that people go see movies for. I feel like.
I don't know about that. Because
I do.
Transpotting, yeah, but Transpotting 2, he's not,
T2 didn't make anything.
Like which one?
Transpotting 2. It's
Trainspotting 2.
But that's also a niche audience though. Like
So
not everybody saw Trainspotting. I feel
No.
like The Shining is a classic horror.
Well, yeah, but you're gonna
compared to
get
something like
people.
Trainspotting.
You're gonna get people respect Ewan McGregor very
Yes.
much so, but there are very few actors today that put butts in seats.
Who
It's
do you
just-
think? Who do you
Rock?
think? Other than The Rock and
but
like
even
Tom Cruise.
Tom
No,
Cruise.
even
Kevin
Tom
Hart.
Cruise doesn't. Mission.
Tom Hanks.
Now it's
Besides Mission Impossible.
The IP is putting
It's
people in seats
franchises,
more
yeah.
more than Tom Cruise because Jack Reacher didn't do very well, and his other movies. I mean, and what was the one that he did before?
Oblivion.
Yes, Oblivion didn't do anything.
Yeah.
The one that did good was Mission Impossible. It continues to get people in there because the franchise has
Because of
been
the
good.
franchise.
Vin Diesel doesn't sell the movies. Fast and Furious, does.
Right. It's the last Witch Hunter.
Yeah, The Rock.
don't tell him that.
The Rock had that argument for a little bit because of Jumanji and everything else that he was kind of saving, but then Skyscraper comes in and that didn't do anything. So
Nor did Rampage.
Rampage did okay.
Oh, okay.
But
When does Dr. Sleep come out?
November 8th.
Oh,
Isn't
so it's Halloween time.
You talk about it being a direct sequel. It may not be a direct sequel to the movie, but it could be a direct sequel to the book.
That's what I said earlier.
But using clips from the movie that are in the book. That's what I mean. They're trying to walk that balance.
I think it's a continuation of just Danny's story.
It is.
That's
Yeah.
really all it is.
It
It's
is,
just a
and there are
continuation of his story. But it is related to the 1980 film.
Yeah.
I just really like watching the trailer with Josh today.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'll say this: having read the book, this is a direct sequel to The Shining.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
truly
if they
but it's also
adapt. If they do, thank you. There you go. Found the word.
Yeah.
If they adapt it from the actual
the book. Yes, if they do the book justice, if they
Right.
adapt it directly from the book, Dr. Sleep, that is, because the Shining adaptation is fairly different.
Right.
But there are elements from the Shining book that work, but that also you can incorporate from the movie, which is what they did in that trailer.
But at the same time, the Dr. Sleep book, like the story, is actually also very different than
so different.
just the atmosphere of The Shining. If that makes sense.
yeah.
Like I think I think it's cool. It's like a completely different take on it. So, so
Well,
I'm excited
Riley,
about it.
we got you excited with that. I'm going to get you excited again here.
Can I just ask one question, real
of course,
question
why not?
about Dr. Sleep?
Yeah.
When does it take place? Like the 80s, 90s?
30 years after. So
Danny
now.
Torrance, the kid, grows up and
Yeah.
he
I
becomes
know, but so
human.
what year was The Shining? 70?
80.
It was 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so 30. Okay, so
80.
2010. Okay.
Yeah. So it's
You
like
had
a
I'm surprised you went back on that because I remember you had that question in the.
I know,
in the Schmodown, and you got it right.
I did.
Yeah.
I know. For some reason, I was saying 82, but then
No,
I'm like,
it's 80.
no, that's E.T. and Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I
what
don't
was
know why I
Good year.
put it in
Cujo was
The
82,
year I was
wasn't
born.
it?
I don't know.
What year was Cujo, Cody? Can we check that out? Hey, Alex.
Where has Alex been?
He was here yesterday and the day before. He
He's
doesn't
like-
like
he's
when you're
working
He's never
today.
here when
He
I'm
doesn't
here.
like it.
Hey guys.
I know.
Yes.
Hi.
Cujo came out in 1983.
83.
Oh.
Okay, close.
Missed it by
Surprised they
that
haven't.
much.
I'm surprised they haven't remade Cujo. They got to be remaking that.
They are.
Are they remaking
Yeah,
it?
there
course
was an
they are.
announcement, but haven't heard much. Actually, that's right. I think they're doing some sort of reboot where the Cujo stands for like canine upgrade.
Oh no! Is
Oh,
he
something
a
weird.
CGI or an AI type thing?
Something
Don't
like
do
that.
that.
I don't know.
Think?
No,
Am I
just get
making that up?
the
Hold on,
rabies.
hold
the
on.
rabies is the whole point.
I mean, I'm seeing Child's Play next week, and I'm excited. And I hear it's very different, but it's
Yeah.
fine. I like remakes
I like
that are
that
different.
kid. That kid was awesome. He came in here. The kid that played Andy was in here, and he was just he made me want to see the movie even more.
What do we think that the kid from The Shining actually looks like? Because we know it doesn't look like Ewan McGregor.
No, what were you gonna say?
He does signings.
Yeah. Oh shit! Where'd it go? Okay, so the upcoming Cujo remake. This is from an article in 2017, and it's kind of gone away. Called Cujo: Canine Unit Joint Operations.
Nope.
We can tell you right away from the title
Nope.
that it sucks. Yeah, it's about.
Who's making it?
I'm trying to find this. This
Michael
article
Bay.
is just yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, please,
That's
no.
so weird.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. This is a.
If
this
they're
is a-
doing horror remakes, I wish they would do a really good. Like, there's some old John Carpenter movies that are amazing and that are a little cheesy because of the time they were made in. Like Prince of Darkness, I love.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I feel like
Prince of
that would
Darkness,
be a
you're right.
really
Yeah.
really cool remake.
Well, yeah. Don't do Thinner though.
Why not?
Oh, that's Stephen King.
Yeah, I know. Don't do Thinner.
No, Thinner's terrible.
writing is Richard Bachman.
Yeah.
Silver Bullet would be good to redo.
But I want to jump out. Like I said, we had Riley excited for one. We'll get him excited for a second one. Denis Villeneuve doing Dune, not only doing the movie,
Yeah.
doing a TV series
He's
also.
just directing the pilot.
Yeah, he's directing the
He's
pilot.
producing it, sure, I'm sure. But here's the thing, is that this, I'll tell you why this excites me, because this movie then, not only do they have extreme confidence in the film, right? Because this, I assume it's going to tie into the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so if you're doing that and you're putting that together as a big series, and then you carry that over, you're getting the jump. Basically, what Star Wars took 30 some odd years to do is to do movies and TV together. You're jumping this franchise right into it, putting out a movie, getting back to the way that you like the book, and then connecting that to television. This is a fantastic plan if it comes off the way that they want it to.
Yeah, it looks great. There's still no. This is from THR. There's still no home for it, but they're looking at streaming services, and it's called Dune: The Sisterhood. So it's going to follow the order of women known as the Bene Gesserit.
Okay.
And I think that's how you pronounce
they
it.
in
Do
the
you know
movie?
Dune? I can't remember.
I didn't read that.
You
that
didn't read?
book.
Oh, you.
I read the original Dune. I didn't read that sisterhood thing or whatever.
Yeah, I mean mean, it goes into probably some of the later novels. It can, but this is also acting as a spinoff from stuff we're going to see in the actual Dune movie.
Do you consider Dune though to be kind of like the Blade Runner franchise, where like I don't like not a lot of people saw 2049. So do you think that's going to be the case with Dune?
Yes.
So it's interesting that they're planning a TV series when they don't know how successful it's going to be.
It's a massive mistake.
It's going to. I don't disagree, but it's going to really come down to the marketing of this film.
Yeah.
They're going to have to show us
I
some
know.
stuff that is going to get us excited.
Well, that's why I said it's confidence, and it's confidence. I'm not going to go as far to say it's a massive mistake because I think that the property alone, I don't think Lynch did the property right. Apparently, from what everybody had said. So, and I think that Denis right now is a guy who he's a visionary, and he's going to do some. Really
I will
great
go
stuff.
see all his movies just because he's
an
incredible
of him.
director.
But think about all the other stuff that's just on streaming in general, right? And other stuff that's out there. And if you have him shooting the pilot and he believes in it and he's working on this thing too, then why wouldn't you pick up that series? And if it happens to be, maybe it's one of those things to where the movie, even if the movie doesn't do very well and it works better as a TV series, and you get people really interested that they go, "Whoa, I missed out on that movie also," and then they go back to the movie. If you have the budget to try to do it, I'm not going to say it's a massive mistake. I think that it's actually, I think it's a ballsy plan. I think it's a different plan. I think it's something that's a franchise that hasn't really been tapped into enough. So I'm on board with this.
And if you're gonna keep doing franchises, at least do things like that. You know, like they should be remade at some point, right? Like not like 20 Star Wars. Anyways,
I had no idea what Denis Villeneuve looked like until now in this picture. He looks just like Paddy Considine. You know, the Irish actor. They look exactly alike.
Roka, what's your hesitation with it?
Well, because the first one, the David Lynch Dune movie was just a mess for so many reasons, right? But it became
Jodorowsky was going to do it before.
right. But it became
Lynch did his own version.
Jodorowsky, I got my own issues with Jodorowsky, but it was a mess for so many reasons, and they tried to put it all together, and they couldn't. And in the end, it is what it is. Dune, the book itself, is a monolith to tackle. It is so extensive. It goes over thousands of years. Main characters die throughout, and a whole new bunch of characters come in. Like, that's what concerns me first. And I'm like, just get this movie right before you start moving on to a TV series. I mean, we saw this, Power Rangers, 1, 2, 3, we're going to do 6 of them. It's like, no, get one right, then start moving on. What's the rush?
I get that.
But do you think Denis has made a bad movie, though?
No, he hasn't made a bad movie, but can I argue that he hasn't made a movie, he hasn't made a lot of movies that have made a lot of money.
Right.
That's the concern.
That's
I understand the concern. But when
my
you go
concern.
to Power Rangers,
because you go to another desert film.
No, you're not wrong to where it's like I actually have hesitation when it comes to when they announce like 7 movies off the bat, like when the shared monsters universe, right? Hey, we're going to do all these movies. That's a little bit more to me like hold the brakes or step on the brakes, because it's like that's too much money inside of these movies, right? But if you can get a series that ties into it also, and I say hold back on the other movies, see how the movies do before. But if you can try to tie this off and again into a streaming service where there's so much material on these streaming services right now that are going to be subpar compared to what Dune can do.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at his filmography because Dorina was like, has he made a bad movie? I'm looking at him like,
he hasn't.
I mean, I didn't like Blade Runner 2049, but I didn't like Blade Runner at all.
But it's a beautiful looking movie, and Deacon's out there too.
Prisoners is great.
Yeah.
Prisoners is great.
Is Deacon's
Sicarios fantastic?
Shooting Dune?
Who is
Good
shooting
question.
Dune?
And I don't think I was smart enough for Arrival.
That's one of my favorite. Arrival's one of my favorite.
No, I know.
For the last like 5 years. Yeah.
Well, that's one of those ones that
Can
buck
you,
the
can
trends.
you change your Twitter bio to that?
I wasn't smart enough for Arrival.
That movie happened, and I was like, what?
I think
Hans Zimmer is scoring.
Yeah, see,
Yeah, he is.
I'm telling you, I think this is it's a ballsy move. It's a ballsy move, but I like this move.
900 people are in this movie too, so it's
I know.
like we'll see.
I like this
Again,
move.
it's going to come down to the marketing. If they take some of the elements in Dune that do exist, action, have some mythology, show some big set pieces, you know.
We already know the movie's going to look amazing.
It's going to look amazing, but for audiences that might just have the Dune David Lynch thing in their mind or afraid of the mythology because of what you're saying, this huge monolith of a book, if they show some elements in the marketing in a trailer that people go, hey, could this be the next Star Wars? I think that then you get them in there, you have the great cast, you get roped into the mythology that's so well defined in the book. I think then we can do the sisterhood with Dune, and we're fine.
I like it.
I mean, we're in the movie right now. There's so many people in the movie.
There are
true.
a ton of people in this movie.
All 5 of us.
Here's another thing that Roka's going to get pissed off about. Tarantino Star Trek project is going to be sweary and R-rated.
Now, that's a Star Trek
Why
I can
does
get
that piss
behind.
you off, John?
Because
You think
Star
about
Trek is not the arena for that kind of bullshit. It isn't. Star Trek is about the best that we can be in the future.
You're not wrong.
People
actually.
overcoming obstacles and their own prejudices and biases to work together for the overall common good. Star Wars works because that's a place that's good versus evil.
Right.
And there's redemption arcs and there's what have you,
Right.
and the underworld. But with Star Trek, it's rarely there's this underworld of people doing dirty stuff. It's about more about overcoming evil to be the best we can be, the Federation of Planets and all that.
It's the most diplomatic show on TV,
Exactly.
right? That even when they fight Klingons, they're just like,
Nothing gets
pew.
me psyched like diplomacy.
But that's
It made a lot of money, so
dude, it's good.
yeah.
It's good.
Listen, I've
Discovery's
watched all the
supposed
most recent Star Trek movies. They're fine.
Yeah, they're not that great. I would agree with you. They're not that
Well,
great.
the recent
The first
stuff-
one was the 2009 one was good.
It's fine.
Darkness was, but Beyond I didn't like at all.
Yeah. So here's the thing is that I'm not like a big Star Trek guy, but my original take on Tarantino doing it is that I think that if he says he's a big fan, and
He is.
so if he is, and this is before this announcement, right? That if he does it justice, but puts Tarantino's spin on it. And I'm down with it because I want to see because Tarantino's going to get asses in the seats. It's just what he does, and he's going to. Star Trek, regardless, needs life. It needs the electric kind of shock there. But now, this is the thing that we're taking it from the Star Trek fans' point of view.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Star Trek movies. I've never seen a Star Trek movie that has cursing and
Right.
R-rated doesn't really bother me because R-rated you can do some cool things with it. But the question also is it going to feel like a Tarantino movie or is it going to feel like a Star Trek movie?
Right.
I like going to a movie and watching Tarantino and feeling like I want to go to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and feel like a Tarantino movie.
Totally.
I don't think I want to feel like to be thrown in. I want to know that this is definitely Tarantino directing, but I don't want it to feel like, oh, it's a Tarantino movie that just happens to be Star Trek. But the flip side of that is that it's going to bring asses into the seats.
Totally.
Now, it's going to piss off a lot of Star Trek fans.
Yes.
But it's going to be the most profitable Star Trek movie probably in a long time.
I don't mind seeing somebody, and I am a Star Trek fan. Maybe not recently as much, but I love TNG growing up, right? And the movies, obviously. But I think that if a cool director that's known for having a certain vision, a particular vision that touches on a franchise and makes it completely different, I don't mind.
But
Yeah.
That
I'm
sounds
with you.
good.
Star Wars is
Have Tarantino make a Star Wars movie. I would go watch that.
But Star
I think
Wars is
it's-
a hopeful thing, and Tarantino's a skeptical guy. Like, all his films are skeptical. They're questioning of all these kind of things. Whereas Star Trek is about the hopefulness. And I think I'd be curious to see what he wrote, because obviously he wrote something. So I'd be curious to read it and see what his take on it is. So I'm just judging from the outside, not having read the script. If it's a fantastic R-rated film that gets into the grittiness and what have you, has a little vibe like Rogue One did, which is as close to an R-rated Star Wars film as you're going to get.
But you don't want F-bombs every 5
I
seconds.
don't want F-bombs because
and-
it's first
That
season of
makes
Star
sense.
Trek Discovery did that. I don't want to see Klingons having sex. Like, I don't need any of that.
right.
Which
I
is
do.
what for the season 1 has. Yeah. So I just think
I get it.
That kind of stuff's
I
unnecessary.
will say that I understand the point of view. I mean, I'm going to be very interested to see it because I'm more of a Tarantino fan, obviously, than I'm a Star Trek fan. But I do understand Star Trek fans their hesitation. I get it. I just don't. I just think that it's going to bring a lot of people in the theater.
Wait, what would a Klingon say in bed other than Kapla?
I don't know anything in Klingon.
watch the Star Trek Discovery episode.
Oh,
where they're
really?
having sex. Oh, full on.
Oh, yeah.
Klingon breasts and everything. It's full on sex.
I don't want to see Klingon breasts. I want to see Klingon penis.
Oh, there you go.
All right. So anyway,
That also has ridges. Yeah,
if
go
you
ahead.
tuned into the title of this episode, obviously, that last night both Riley and Roka got a chance to see Toy Story 4.
Hey-o.
We had the director and producers on yesterday. It was a really fun interview to hear those guys' perspective. I was already kind of intrigued to see the film, and they made me want to see it even more so. Riley was hesitant when the trailer first came out.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that said, like, it was a perfect wrap-up to, and they were too in the beginning, first wrap-up to the first 3 movies. Why do you need to do a 4th?
Right.
What say you and Roka about the 4th movie?
This is a good movie.
Yeah.
Did you guys
Yeah.
cry?
Yes.
Yes.
A
Yes.
lot?
At the end.
Yes.
And it's funny too.
This is probably the funniest Toy Story in my
Really?
opinion.
Ooh.
I was laughing throughout the
Yeah.
movie, and I will say I went in. Maybe it was in my attitude. The movie started, and I'm like, you gotta convince me why. You gotta convince me why this movie
Why we're here.
needs to happen.
It's necessary,
And I would say probably the first 20 minutes, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not sold on this. This is feeling like something that here we go, I'm in. That's what happened to me, and the humor got me, the heart, and it really did focus in on Woody, and that's what I loved. And
That's
it
cool.
really is a great story that really complements the other three movies. And the ending was amazing. Fernandez put out a tweet that I kind of agreed with him. Did
Yeah.
you see that, Roca? That
did.
the antagonist of the movie is his favorite of the year.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
I would say it's a very interesting antagonist. I don't want to go into it any more
Well,
than
the
that.
boys yesterday mentioned how great Randy Newman's music was. Great.
yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Everything.
I actually prefer his scores over his
That's
songs.
what they.
Well,
That's
he
what they were
scores.
saying.
He scores
That's what they
it,
were
yeah.
saying.
Because the movie started and there was a great opening and then it goes into credits and the score kicked in, and I don't know, you gotta have a heart of stone if you don't get that and you just get into it, and it was really great. I was shocked at how good it really was.
Roca, you on the same page?
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
you weren't excited about it at
No,
first,
I wasn't.
right?
I didn't like any of the trailers, and I
Yeah, I
thought,
didn't either.
what was the point? I didn't like the animation.
Well, I like
look.
trailers, but but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I didn't like any of it. So when I walked in, but I'd heard buzz that it was good and what have you. So
Buzz.
yeah, well, there you go, nice,
Ding.
nice, ding. Oh, Marshall yesterday. He's like, I don't want to ruin it for you, but I've seen it 2 or 3 times already, and I love it every single time. Get emotional every time. So I'm curious to see what you think. I sat down, a couple of friends, we watched. I was just laughing my ass off, getting back into the world, enjoying the animation. This is the best bunch of characters that I've ever seen in a Toy Story movie.
Nice. How's Keanu?
Keanu's fantastic,
Yay.
but all the new
Steals the
characters
movie.
that are with Bo Peep are all incredible
Nice.
as well. And then the new toys that Bonnie's playing with that we barely got a chance to know in the last film, and then the toys in the antique store that come out. You're just like all of it all around, just a great. And of course, Key and Peele are incredible with their voiceover
that's
work
so cool.
all around, and there's so much fun. And then there's this incredible heart, and it's about Woody, like Riley said, it's Woody's journey. And what he has to discover about himself, and that was just like
That's good.
fantastic.
Can you guys rank it?
I'm still putting the first 3 above this.
Right.
Now,
But you just think it's a nice tie up to the whole thing.
I think it's a great tie-up. I hesitate to say something about whether or not there's going to be a Toy Story 5. Because I would say that then that's too much.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a very nice end to the franchise if they do stay there, if they do make this the last one.
Well, they were playing with a very every movie that has ever gone like at least 2 or 3. If you do a string of 4, it's very rare the four movies are really good.
Yeah.
So you were just kind of everybody's trying to do it. Indiana Jones couldn't do it, and some people even say Indiana Jones didn't do it. I like Temple of Doom, but a lot of people.
Temple of Doom.
I know, but anyway, but at least the consensus was that for the first 3 of those movies, pretty solid, and the 4th one came in and just.
Yeah.
And a lot of movies have done that, right? Look at like Bourne.
Yeah.
Like, Bourne had those first 3, and then Jeremy Renner went through it off, and then he came back with Jason Bourne. I was like, stop doing it. So this is where the hesitation from a lot of fans were, but it seems consensus-wise, even if the first 3 were better, it just still seems like this one just fits in kind of seamlessly.
It does fit in seamlessly, and I do want to see it again. I was wondering because I was talking to Ellis off air.
He loved it,
and he loved it. And he's like, "Yeah, but I don't revisit these movies." And I was like, "Oh wow, I do. I buy these movies. I revisit them often." Toy Story 3, I think, is my favorite because of what we were talking about, how wonderful and beautiful that
movie's
moment is.
fucked up.
It's so it's great.
In all the
It's
best
really
ways.
good, but it's fucked up.
So I want to see it again because I'm wondering if it would maybe go above one of the other 3. Because
For me, it
of,
does.
For you, it does.
where you
For me,
rank
it's
it?
3, 1, 4, and 2.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it.
That's
and
my PIN code for my ATM.
Son of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's amazing. That's the same combination of my luggage.
But like, I thought immediately I had a better experience watching this than I did in 2. 2 for some reason doesn't work 100% for me, so I keep it where it is. I think it's the prospector character that Kelsey Grammer does. I just kind of find it to be a little soulless. But this
Just like
one,
him.
this one though, I really enjoyed it from
shots
top
at-
to bottom.
at Frasier.
Shots at Kelsey.
Frasier's a great show.
Shots at
Though.
And I gotta say, the animation in this
Oh, yeah,
is
man. Woo.
Crazy, huh?
incredible. There is a scene that they're up in an attic,
yeah.
and so there's spider webs and whatnot. And I'm just watching this and going,
It looks
this
real.
is freaking yeah.
It's photoreal
what
almost.
about the short before it?
They
They
didn't.
didn't play that for us,
Yeah.
if there is one.
They never do
Wow.
at screenings. I don't
That's not
think.
true.
I know.
Yeah?
They
We
always
watched
do.
Yeah, no, we did. That's
They
right.
always show
What
this.
was the what was
tea.
the short? Yeah, what what's it called?
It was Boba Tea, wasn't it?
No. It
I
was,
well, that was for Moana. No, it was
no, it was
Moana?
Incredibles too.
Yes.
Incredibles
Which
That's
one?
right. When they
The Boba Tea.
dim
No,
sum.
no, it's the.
You mean Bao?
Bow.
Yes.
Bow.
that was, but that
was a good one.
I've every single. I know for a fact there was a screen there because I took my daughter to see it.
I saw-
She,
yes,
I remember
they played
she started
Bao.
crying
Yep.
when
They
the mother
played
ate
Bao
the
before.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was at earlier screening. I think it was for Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I saw that, and when the mother
Yeah.
eats it, I laughed my ass off,
me
and I
too.
didn't realize. And there was like 2 kids crying behind
Yeah,
me.
my-
I felt
yeah.
like such an asshole.
My daughter wanted to leave. She
I
was so
thought it
she
was
was so
so
upset. She was
funny.
she was so
Really?
attached to
Yeah.
that thing, and she's like, "Why did his mother do that?" And I was like, I had to like convince her. I was like, "Please, let's stay and watch this film."
What's your guys' favorite Pixar short?
Short,
Yeah.
you know, they have that. It's funny. They have that whole.
I like the one with the bird.
Piper.
That one's really good.
That was jumping in my mind.
Mine is Bound, and Rebound.
Which is the one? Which
Sounds
is the,
like a.
That's a good one.
Is that like BDSM?
The Jackalope.
the, pa-
The
is the paper?
Jackalope.
Is the Paper Man? Is that part of it?
Yes, it is.
I like the
I think
paper.
that's
one's
Disney.
Paperman.
That one's just.
Is it
looks-
That's
Is that
Disney.
just Disney?
Yeah.
Just Disney
Think-
shorts.
That one looks really pretty.
Yeah,
I
I think you're right. I think
I
that's
love
right.
the Jack attack.
That's good,
It's
too.
when it
Is
cuts
that the
to
one with the dog?
No, it cuts to the babysitter during The Incredibles.
Oh.
So that conversation that leads to the voicemails.
Yeah.
It's all there. I laughed my ass off.
Yeah,
at that.
I like the one with the dog with the guy and gets the dog with his girlfriend and they're together and you just see the perspective of the dog the whole entire time and then
I miss this one?
Yeah, you'd love it. And then
It's
then
good.
the dog at the very end kind of gets them back together and then they have kids and everything too. It's you'd cry your balls off.
I freaking miss this.
Yeah, you got to see
I'll
it.
see you guys later.
Yeah, no, it's true. You can watch it after. It's really good. Anyway, so look, we're gonna go to break, Cody, if that's okay with you.
Sure. Give me like 10 seconds.
Okay,
here.
we're gonna.
You're
Getting
better.
Thank you. We're gonna.
Good job, Kristian.
We're gonna go to break in just a second here too, because we're gonna come back. We're gonna do the giveaways.
Yes.
we have some giveaways to do for
2
sure.
copies of 13 Hours, courtesy of Paramount.
Yep.
Get ready to answer some questions about Collider Live.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. So we'll have you guys call in, and then obviously at 11:40 or so, we're
Right.
gonna play the interview for Ralph Macchio, Daniel's son
You're the
himself.
best.
Thank you. I
Around.
appreciate that. All right, we're gonna go to break. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops in on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One, Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. New episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Hey guys, Perry Nemiroff here to let you know that The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that Horrorville podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. We also have clips on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel, and on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared, hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'll be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Perry here to let you know about the new edition of Collider Movie Talk. We are going to 5 days a week. We have a short, sweet 20-minute show where we focus on the 2 biggest stories of the day. You can expect to see all of your favorite Collider personalities on the show, including Jeff Snyder, John Roca, Haley Fouch. You're getting Josh McCouga every Friday. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be informative, fun. Come join us. 3 p.m. PT Live every single day of the week, right here on the Collider Video YouTube channel. You can also find the show on the Collider Movie Talk feed on our podcast network, so go watch, go listen, however you prefer to get all of your movie news.
Hey everyone, Jon Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Noce, Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel. And if you want to take us along with you in your ears, you can go and subscribe to the Collider Sports podcast feed for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars, and if you want to catch our weekly show where we talk about the latest and greatest in Star Wars, it's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel, and you can listen, you can watch, you can do all of it, but if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out, and then after Episode 9, you got TV shows, so we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real. Riley just did exactly what I was hoping for. Riley said during the break, he goes, hey, we should really play this video. That's all I'm asking for. Look at that. So let's play this.
Look how I changed. Look how I changed my producing style.
Is that in the notes?
No, I had it afterwards because somebody tweeted at us.
So you want to set it up, or you want us to just watch it?
I'm going to set up. It just all I'll say is wait for it and beat because I missed it twice.
So we got to really look.
So we got to watch it. So
this is
Cody, the no. Girl, no.
Sorry.
So really good job with.
Oh, wait
damn it!
You want to try to find it first?
Cody, really good job with the old school Super Nintendo Mario Kart. Thank you for that.
All right, Riley's going to try to find it again while he does that.
How is that possible?
What we're going to do is Cody's going to flash the number on the screen, and we're going to do a giveaway for 13 hours courtesy of Paramount. And what is it? Is it like an anniversary edition or something?
What's that? Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a special 4K version. So it's an upgraded, the Blu-ray copies of 2 of them, 13 hours courtesy of Paramount.
I really enjoyed this movie. I know not as much as Mark Ellis, but I did enjoy this movie.
I thought it was a good. My reaction to this movie was just the fact that when Ellis and I, if you go back and watch our review on what's on the Schmodown channel, but. Mark gave it a 5 out of 5. A 5 out of 5, I believe it is not. Yeah. But I was very shocked when you see the 5 out of 5. You see my reaction. But I thought it was definitely one of the better Michael Bay movies for sure. Yeah, right. I mean, that's the reaction.
Yeah. Well, no, but I'm different.
See,
I'm like the opposite of Josh when it comes to Michael Bay stuff. Yeah.
Well,
you love Michael Bay, right?
No, he doesn't. He just likes Bad Boys.
No, I love
No,
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
He's literally Josh
You like
is
the Transformers.
Josh is
Oh, okay.
literally Michael Bay's demographic.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I will also say this. First of all, I watched Armageddon this weekend. It was on, which is still, I mean, it's an amazing movie.
His early
But
stuff is
he makes a pretty
enjoyable
funny
popcorn
cameo
movies.
in it. Yeah, he makes a pretty funny cameo in it that I never caught before. But
The Rock is great.
The Rock is, I mean, The
a great
Rock
movie.
is a top 10 action film in my opinion.
It's probably it's like the one that I tolerate. Yeah.
Yeah, The Rock is really, Armageddon I didn't mind. First Bad Boys I like.
Well, Pearl Harbor's the best one.
Yeah,
It just steals my soul from it.
You know, Pearl Harbor is not that good.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but I will say this: Michael Bay, and this goes back to a lot of
Can't
reasons.
find
Like
it.
I don't
Gone.
like.
So what was it?
Pulled down.
What were you
was it?
looking
They
for?
pulled it down.
I need the questions though.
Oh yeah.
What
was
is
it?
it?
So there's
look it up.
it was on the subway, and these two girls are sitting there.
Oh,
It looks
yeah.
like late night, and they're like just got done partying, and they're like both texting, and then all of a sudden you see this rat crawl down and go down the blouse.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
And
on.
why
They
did-
did get rid of it.
why
but-
did they
I
get
don't
rid
know
of
why
it?
they got rid of it. It was Barstool Sports that tweeted it
Check
out.
Instagram.
Maybe somebody want. Oh, you have it.
Yeah.
How did you get that?
Send it to
I
Cody.
don't. Well, no, it says failed to load tweet, so it appears on my thing, but not.
Let me see it. Let me see the
It's so
actual
weird.
tweet itself.
It's-
Where's the actual
Can you
rat?
show
Yeah,
the
it's,
camera?
it's
I'm trying to find the rat, but how? I mean, how do these people know? First of all, maybe they knew the rat was behind her or something. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
How did she not? But how did she
Right?
not know?
What?
Is
Does
that
it, was it not
CGI?
her pet?
Is it like a pet rat?
Yeah.
It
what if
could have
it's just
been.
a pet
It's got to
rat?
be a pet rat. Watch. It's the girl on the closer to the door.
But that I don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe they posted it and that's what it was. It was like, no, that's my pet. Pull it down.
because she's not reacting. To
She's
it.
not.
Do you see it, Josh?
Yeah. Oh, I saw it.
Yeah. It's I don't know.
I've seen worse on the subway.
I'm sure. well. Speaking of which, who was the guy who called in that licked that pole? Right.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Whatever that guy was, his
Yeah.
name. Someone also sent me. This is why you don't like poles. And they had on the subway. I don't know if the guy was homeless or whatever it was, but he has pants down and he was rubbing his ass up and down on the pole. And then there was another lady who was sneezing violently, like
Onto the pole.
But she looked again like not
The healthiest.
She didn't look healthy,
Yeah.
and she was like rubbing it on the pole, and it's like. That's why you don't do that.
Yeah.
That's why you don't touch those things,
Yeah.
much less put your tongue on
You
it.
sir are correct.
Yes.
So bad.
Are we going to do a little contest?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to have people call in.
To
and
the
so,
death.
So the questions then it's going to be so I wouldn't call in if you don't know the show that well because they're going to be they're going to be questions based off of Collider Live.
There's
So-
also 2 Ralph Macchio questions.
okay. All right. So some Ralph Macchio. How many total? 3.
There's 6 questions here.
Oh,
7
so
questions.
how many giveaways do we have?
Oh, we
have
have
2
2, but
copies.
I think you need to get 2 of them correct.
You need to get 2. So you
Yes.
need to get 2 in order. So if you do not get it right, we're going to be a little more strict this time. So
Yes.
because we only have 2 copies. So all right. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we have?
This is Callaway from Tennessee. What's going on?
What's up,
Hi.
man? So, okay, so you confident enough that you think you know enough about the show that you can win this thing?
I mean, I watch it all the time, so I'm going to be pretty disappointed if I don't get it.
All
right.
All right. So here we go. So, Josh, take it away.
So if you watched yesterday, we told the story of Roxy getting lost while her and Kristian were trying to get out of the movie. So Roxy got lost trying to find her car based solely on the landmark of this department store.
Oh, that's a good question. It's a good question.
Hard.
What? That's a good question.
I can read it again if you'd like.
I don't even know that one.
Sure.
Roxy got lost trying to find her car based solely on the landmark of this department store.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I remember Kristian saying that it was like 6 spaces away from his car.
Yeah.
It's a good one. All right, dude. Kyle, thanks for the call, man.
Yeah, the
We can't
answer.
give you the
Oh, no, we
giveaway.
kind of want to give the answer because we're going to have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Okay. All
We're
right,
gonna
that's
work
fine.
for it.
All right.
It's
so
also hard to
thank
know
you for the call.
which time you're talking about.
All
that
right. So
Roxy
we got.
lost.
So we have another caller coming in. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we have?
Hey, it's Sean from Chicago.
Hey,
What's up,
Hi, Sean.
All right, Sean. So same question here for Josh. Ask one more time.
Okay, so if you listened yesterday, Kristian and Kristian tried to help Roxy find her car because she was lost. They were at a movie. So Roxy got lost trying to find her car based solely on the landmark of this department store. If you listen to the story.
Home Depot.
You know, at least you know what I'll give him though. He guessed.
He got a
Yeah.
guess.
He
Yes,
did the
all right.
guess.
Thank you for the
Thanks,
call,
Sean.
Thank you for the call. So now people, if you listen,
Stumped
all right.
him with
Hey,
this one.
you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, this is Eddie from Miami, Florida.
Eddie
Hey,
from
Eddie.
All right, Eddie. Do you know the answer? Or do you need the question again?
I need the question again.
All right, here we go.
So Roxy got lost trying to find her car based solely on the landmark of this department store. If you listened to the show yesterday, you would hear the story of her and Kristian getting lost.
God.
I'm looking for the name of a department store.
This is a great question. It's a deep cut, even though it was yesterday's show.
She said the name like 3 or 4
She
times.
definitely did. I did too.
You did too.
I did too.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good question. It's just a deep cut.
Man, I was literally smoking when you guys got.
Take a guess.
All I remember was it Yard House?
No,
The department
Thank
store.
you. All right. So go and stump it. Look, you're making these people earn 13 hours 4K, man. So that's
Home
what you're gonna
Depot
do.
and Yard House are not department stores, guys. Come on.
Well, Home Depot sort of.
All right.
Sort of.
Here's the next caller. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Luke from New York.
Luke.
Hi, Luke.
Luke, do you need the question again, or you got it?
Is it the same question about Roxy in the parking lot?
Yes.
Yeah, so the answer is Bloomingdale.
Hey, there you go. Nice. Okay. All right. That's
Nicely
question.
done. You
That's
got one.
That's answer one.
That's answer
now,
one.
in order to win the first copy here, you got to answer question number 2.
Okay.
The question is, McCougan going to give you more of a softball, or is he going to
I'm gonna
make
give
it
you a
harder?
softball
Are you
on
going to give
this
him a
one.
softball?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Okay, I'm going to give you a Ralph Macchio question here. What did Daniel LaRusso dress as at the Halloween dance in The Karate Kid?
This is a softball.
Oh, Luke.
Luke.
Come on.
Luke.
Come on. He's Googling.
Ralph Macchio, who played Daniel LaRusso. What did Daniel LaRusso dress as at the Halloween dance?
I'm going to give you a Schmodown count here, Luke, because your Google is not working fast enough. 5.
False, Luke.
4.
I believe it's a skeleton, right?
No.
That's Cobra Kai.
All right, so Luke, we got to reset the board.
Oh.
Luke's out, so now we got to reset the board. And the Bloomingdale's question is off.
Bloomingdale's
and now
is
there's
like-
2 more questions. So you can start with the Karate
Yes,
Kid
I'll start
one.
with the Karate Kid.
All right, hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Tommy from New Jersey.
Tommy.
Hi,
from New Jersey.
Tommy.
All right, so Tommy here. I mean, from New Jersey, you better get this one right.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's the question.
Okay, what did Daniel LaRusso dress as at the Halloween dance in The Karate Kid?
A greaser?
Oh, no, agree. I mean, I prefer guessing over nothing at all. So this is you're doing it.
You thought that this would have been the softball, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was a softball.
Yeah.
I thought that
Maybe
was a
just
softball.
for
All right,
us.
hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hi, my name is Kimberly from Seattle, Washington.
Hi, Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Okay, Kimberly. So do you need the Karate Kid question again?
Yeah.
Okay, here's
Oh,
the Karate.
shit, I can't believe I'm on here.
All right, here's the question.
Thanks for listening, Kimberly. Okay, what did Daniel LaRusso dress as at the Halloween dance in The Karate Kid?
A shower curtain?
Yes. You got it. All right, Kimberly.
All right, Kimberly,
So,
so-
that, now you got to hit number 2. Now it's going to be a Collider Live question.
This is a Collider Live question.
Now you got to hit this, and if you do, you'll be the first winner of the 4K 13 hours giveaway.
Okay, here we go. What has Kristian been doing in the morning for exercise?
Swimming.
Yes! You got it. Okay, Kimberly, our first winner.
Kimberly, well
Kimberly,
done.
are
Our
you,
first
Kimberly,
winner.
are
Leave it
you
up to the
on
ladies.
Twitter? Are you on Twitter, Kimberly?
Yes, I am on Twitter.
Okay, if you want to hit me up on Twitter at Riley Around, I'll get you the address. I'll get your address, and we'll send you a copy of 13 hours. Congratulations,
Roxy will be very proud. Our
Yes.
first
Yes.
winner. Yes. Okay, cool.
Okay,
So thank
we
you
have
to
one more to
Kimberly.
give away. Way to
All
go,
right.
Kimberly.
I
Congratulations.
we got to
I'm
get
so
more
happy she
giveaways
got
here
the
because I like
Karate
this
Kid.
game.
I love
I'm
this
a big
game.
fan of this game.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get our next caller in. Hey, thank you, Cody. You're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, this is Scotty from Pacific Road.
Scotty, how are
Hey,
you, man?
Scotty.
Okay, Scotty,
Hello.
you're going to get 2 brand new questions here. Let's see how you do. Makuga's going to
Okay.
fire them out now.
This is my favorite Ralph Macchio movie.
Crossroads.
Incorrect.
No.
Ralph Macchio starred as Johnny Cade in this classic movie based on an S.E. Hinton novel.
Johnny Cade, S.E. Hinton novel.
Not giving him the nickname?
Classic.
Give me the nickname, will you?
Give him the nickname.
Well, his nickname is.
Isn't he Pony?
No,
No, it's not. Never mind. Never mind.
He says, "Stay gold, Pony Boy."
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
Johnny Cade.
That's
does.
right.
Outsiders?
There you go.
Yeah.
Too.
Like, we gave it to you.
We gave it, yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
I'm gonna. This next one is about the show, and
Deep cut.
It's a deep cut. This
All
is
right,
tough.
here, we got to earn it.
Okay.
All right.
We were lucky enough on Monday to have Seth Green and Breckin Meyer in studio, and it's a great interview. It's a full hour. Now, in the interview, what was the original title of Clueless?
Oh, this is a deep cut.
Before it was renamed Clueless and Breckin auditioned. Seth auditioned when it was called this, and then Breckin auditioned and got it.
This is a deep cut.
Yeah.
I like it.
But we said it 3 times.
No. We did.
Bear with me just a moment. I watched the interview. It's on the tip of my tongue here.
All right, but I am going to, because of Google, I am going to give you a 5 count in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I know it's not right, but I'm going to go as if.
As if.
That's great
guess.
Good guess.
All right, well,
Great
so we're
guess.
going to reset. Thank you for the phone call there.
Damn.
But, man, that was a close
That's
one.
hard.
That's a deep cut. So we're going to start with, all right, hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, how you doing? It's Saul.
There he is.
Saul.
There he is. All right. All right, Saul, so the question is, what did the dog get? No. All right, no, we're going to...
dog got the fucking bacon.
So we're
Saul,
gonna get 2
first of all,
questions.
you're the best.
Yes.
Second of all, here's your question. In the interview with Seth Green and Breckin Meyer on Monday, what was the original title of Clueless before it was renamed and Breckin auditioned?
Oh, God damn it. It's fucking...
It's that. Yeah, that's it.
the fucking dog. Let's see. God damn. It's got like a clumsy title. It almost sounds like a weird Shakespeare play.
Totally.
You're so there.
on.
You're
Get there. Come
Getting
on.
hot.
Almost
Come
there.
on, Saul.
Almost there. Stay on target. Stay on target.
That's what she said.
5,
It's
4, 3,
it's not fucking
2,
fucking
1.
son of a
0.5.
bitch bastard.
It's
Son
not.
of a bitch bastard.
It is not son of a bitch bastard.
I wish it was son of a bitch bastard.
Although 4 years ago I wrote a play called Son of a Bitch Bastard.
Cody, can you please
Based on a Shakespeare play.
make a note for the next Saul clip of Son of a Bitch Bastard, please?
Thanks for calling Saul. We've got
All
a new
right,
caller.
so Saul's gone. We got a new caller?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got? I love that I can hear Saul in the back. Can you turn your computer down, even though I love hearing Saul's voice in the background?
Hey guys, it's Ed from Long Island. What's going on?
Hi, Ed.
Saul, and I feel like this is just Saul again, pretending he's Ed from Long Island. Ed, so all right, do you need the question again from the Breckin Meyer Seth Green interview?
No, actually, I'm not calling for the contest. I just have a question for Josh real quick.
Sure.
Have you ever seen the alternate ending of The Outsiders?
I have not. I did not know there was an alternate.
Oh, that's
ending.
right.
What happens?
Please refresh my memory. But yeah, I remember there was something put out.
Call it? I told my friends about this years ago, and they're like, "Oh, you're lying." And actually, it was on TV like a month ago. They actually go to court.
Oh.
Because Daryl, their older brother, it's a custody hearing.
Oh.
Kids, they actually show them in court, and Diane Lane's character, she speaks on the stand.
Is that in the book?
The other,
I can't remember.
the preppy guy who talks with C. Thomas Howell in the car, he testifies on the stand. They testify that their friend was drunk and so forth. He's the one that instigated the fight. So the charges end up getting dropped. Ed Daryl gets custody of, instead of them being sent to the boys' home, Ponyboy and Soda get to stay with Daryl.
No way.
Wow.
With Darry.
Nice.
So they went a little more of the
That is the
misery in
book.
there.
Yeah.
That is in the book.
Yeah.
That is in the book.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. You don't want to take a shot at the thing or no?
I've already hung up.
All right. Thank you, Cody. All right.
Cody wins 13
All
hours.
right, let's get to the next one. All right. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
This is Jacob from North Carolina.
All right, Jacob
Hi,
from North
Jacob.
Carolina. All right. Do you need the Seth Green and Breckin Meyer question again, or do you have it? And turn your computer down if you don't mind, please.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
sorry.
Do you want me to, let me ask the question again. In the interview with Seth Green and Breckin Meyer, what was the original title of Clueless before it was renamed and Breckin auditioned?
Oh, fuck.
And that is not the title.
Son of a bitch bastard.
Oh, shit, I can hear myself. Sorry.
Gonna count you down here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nothing? Sorry. All right. All right. Well, thank you for the
Jacob
call.
in North
All
Carolina.
right, I think we ask this one more time,
Yeah,
and then we switch on.
Yeah.
All right. So let's. All right. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey guys, so this is Luke again. I want to be fully transparent that I'm calling in for a second time, but I'll take another shot if you give it to me. But if not, I understand.
Hey, you got to appreciate the gumption of getting through twice.
Because he probably went
But
back
I'm not
going to
read the question. I'm not going to.
Yeah, you're not going to read it. But you might have went back and watched the interview.
Okay.
All right, but
So give him a different question.
give him a different question.
Okay, here we
I'm
go.
going to switch over. Did you? What was the answer?
To the question about Clueless,
Yes.
is it Emma?
No.
All right, we're still gonna we're gonna switch
Okay,
it up.
I'm gonna
We're
switch your
it up.
question. Good call,
though.
Good call. Here's your question. Another Collider Live question for you.
Mark Riley has 2 tattoos. What are they? I'll give you a hint. They're inspired by the same franchise.
Yeah. The one is a cow, and one is the Superman.
There you go.
Emblem.
Logo.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So now you have a chance to win the second one
Here
here.
we go.
It'll be
You
the
gotta
one
get this right.
2 of 2 here. If we can get the.
This is from my favorite movie, Seth Green.
Oh.
Seth Green
We're doing
said,
Seth Green question.
Well, no, it's on the show.
Off the
It's
interview.
Off the interview. Seth Green said he knew this actor would be a star on the set of Airborne.
Great question, and not that hard. If you listen to the interview, you really got to listen to the interview.
Yeah. If you've seen Airborne,
oh man, we have to
there's
reset.
really only one other star in the movie.
We're gonna have to reset. Just take a guess.
Yeah. Okay.
5,
me
4,
slow down countdown. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Take a guess.
I don't know. I don't know the film that much. But
Guess somebody. Giving you a lot of time here. 4, 3. All right, you're out.
No.
Cody's
Luke is over.
Cody's
Cody
like,
is
no.
way less forgiving than I am. All right, let's.
Cody's like, he lost.
All right, here we go. Here's the next question. Or the next person. Hey, you're on Collider Live.
So
Who do
we
we
only have
got?
2 questions left, so if they can't get the clue list, they have to get the.
Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
hey, what's up? This is Wes from San Diego.
Wes.
Hey, Wes.
All right, Wes. So here's the first question.
First question is, Wes, will we see you at the Joan B. Kroc Theater?
Yes.
For the Schmodown
In San Diego.
In San Diego.
I don't have my tickets yet. I'm getting a bunch of people ready.
Great.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I like that answer.
Love
Okay,
it.
so
Good
you're
job, Wes.
all right. You're definitely in the positive vibes here.
Here, we'll start with this one. Seth
Oh,
Green.
go, yeah. The one we just had.
Seth Green said he knew this actor would be a star on the set of Airborne.
Jack Black.
There you go. All right. Now you're in a position to where 2 others before you were. Now, if you hit this, you will win the last copy of 13.
You guys are throwing some softballs. Like seriously, give me some hard stuff.
Don't jinx it.
Here we
Don't jinx
go.
it. You're gonna jinx
Little
yourself.
cocky
All
there.
right,
You're
we're
gonna
going to
jinx
stay
yourself.
in the interview with Seth Green and Breckin Meyer. What was the original title of Clueless before it was renamed and Breckin auditioned?
Didn't you guys already ask that one?
Yeah, but no one answered.
Nobody answered it.
No worries.
Hey! It's here for
Well
Wes.
done, Wes.
Well
done.
done.
All right,
Congratulations,
Wes takes it from San Diego.
Wes, are you on Twitter?
I am not. I am old school, have Facebook, haven't checked it in months, but I could probably get on there for you.
You can go Facebook then. Are you on the Collider Live group?
Let me go check my accounts.
Why don't you just give him the you can take the address over at colliderbusiness@gmail.com.
Send your address to colliderbusiness@gmail.com.
@gmail.com. And we'll send that out to you.
Yeah, I'm watching my TV through Roku, but the phone is live, so all these reactions are delayed. Pretty funny.
Nice.
Good. Well, there you go. Congratulations
Good.
to
Well,
our
way to
2
go,
winners.
Wes. Yes.
And we have 2
Yeah,
that was
Kimberly
fun.
and Wes.
Kimberly and Wes. That's I like it. So we'll do that again because I actually, it was funny today. I forget what the giveaway is going to be for. We know we have a Dog's Journey is going to be another one that we could have.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because Dog's Purpose was the first one.
Yeah.
Dog's Journey, they reached out.
Oh, nice.
And about some giveaways, so we can do that. And there's some other. because Paramount we actually have a very good relationship with, and so we can start doing a lot more of this. I like these games. This was fun.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting because I know you like to come up with some of these questions too. So.
I pick things that if you listen closely you'll get, but you don't have to listen too closely. It's not like in minute 3, Kristian said this
Clueless
word.
one was a deep cut though.
That was a deep
That
cut.
was
But I
hard.
liked it.
But they said it 3 or 4 times.
And you brought it up.
I brought it up again. I was like, no worries.
You liked it. So I think that I can guarantee that we do a giveaway next week that the Ralph Macchio stuff will be inside of that.
Yes.
Because listen to that interview, man.
More
That's coming up.
giveaways and more games, though. We
Yeah.
gotta play games.
Yeah, games.
Yep.
More
Yeah,
games.
we're gonna do more of that too. I mean, people want us to bring back the celebrity impression dating game, and I would love to. I just don't know how we.
I'm trying to figure out how to use that Blockbuster game they sent us.
Yeah, you're right,
for
right.
the show. It's like it's like more team oriented, but I think there's a way I can maneuver it. Plus, it's really cool, this Blockbuster game that they gave us. And man and I were playing it the other night, just kind of like testing the waters to see if it worked for a game night with friends and stuff like that. And it totally will.
I have
but
that
I think,
one.
do you have that?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it could be fun for the show, like 2 on 2.
To try to figure out how to do it. Okay.
And also, what did we do a long time ago where we were guessing? We could guess scores like music, and then we were also guessing movie quotes, which is really hard for me because I prefer.
Well, that's the game. Yeah, that's the game. The game we haven't played in a while. That's a great one. The game's easy to play. Game they can just play from the booth.
We should do that like every other Friday. The game would be great for a Friday.
Yeah, because the game, that one, probably just because we just forgot about it. But the game is actually pretty good. The game, there it is.
Yeah. Let's play it right now.
I don't think they got the clips.
Do you have clips?
Do you have clips, Cody?
No.
Yeah, that
Alex has been a corroborator, a correlator of clips.
Yeah, collaborator.
You guys could do scores if they were not too hard, though, right?
Let's do scores.
Totally.
Let's do it right now.
Do you know what could be good?
Okay, Harrison.
Do you know what could be good is if Alex started pulling and thinking of sound clips of us from the show. And then figuring out maybe not who said it, but like what's in reference to.
That's tough.
Yeah,
because I mean, even like.
But that that could be fun for a giveaway too, of like
because the whole thing, fuck you, Frank.
Yeah,
like I don't know,
fuck you, Frank.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I want Cody saying it.
He'd have no idea like where that was. I mean, a lot of the stuff. Like,
but if we had if Alex going forward, Alex was like, "Ooh, let me grab that," or "Let me grab that." That's a good one. Do you know what I mean? Of you saying like, "Ah, it's a pile of trash." Of
where it came from.
Right.
I mean, you probably just guess
like that
a ton of things.
What was that one? I love seeing photos of fat kids.
Yeah.
I do. What do you want me to do?
I do.
What do you want me to say? I do.
I do.
They're so cute. I don't know what.
That was my favorite. Is like not once when that clip came up, she go, "When did I say that?" She's like, "Yeah,
I do."
Pretty accurate.
That sounds like something I would say.
Pretty accurate. Well, it is something you said.
Yeah.
You can clearly hear your voice, unless like Jamie Costa learned how to do a dead-on impression of you, which I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
He sent. It's
I'm
funny.
sure
he sent me. I heard like it's just his commercial reel in general. How that guy isn't like a billionaire doing voice. He's like a magician,
yes,
dude. Like the way that he uses his voice and character and faces. When is he's supposed to be on the show a while ago? Can we get him back on?
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah.
You know what? He was gonna, and then something happened.
Let's get him back on.
With a lot of,
get him on in the first
I hope he doesn't take this personally. I mean, he might, but
with
a lot of like impression comics.
He's not an impression comic.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. He could be. The hard part is writing the material with the impression, because a lot of impression comics, the beauty of the impression is how funny they are with the bits they say.
But that's his thing. Is that he doesn't, if he wanted to, but he never pretends to be an impressionist. He doesn't want to be known as an impressionist. He's an actor, and he's a damn good actor, because that's why he's so good at what he does. Because
he's a
like,
good actor.
Yeah, but he doesn't ever. And like you ask him like, who do you do? He's like, I don't. Every time I've ever asked him like, what are your impressions? Like, I don't really look at it that way. It's just like, he'll watch a movie and he'll study them, and then he does it. It's like he's a chameleon. He is hands down one of the most talented people I have ever met on this planet.
Yeah.
Like, he is just so good, and he's just an incredible actor. Like the way he tunes into stuff. So I would love to get Jamie on the show. I mean, he's a friend of mine, but I would like to just get him on, like, in general, just to kind of talk. Totally. And I still wanted to do that thing to where we send somebody, maybe even you, to the Burbank Theater. Like, we have a celebrity guest in the office right now, and they're going to ask some questions, and then you just have him ask, is like Owen Wilson or Kurt Russell.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It could also be funny to call like people or friends of the show and be like, "Hey man, we've got a celebrity in studio, and we'd really like to." Or
I
call
love
my
that
wife.
because we all post so many pictures of the interviews that are coming in that our friends back home would believe it.
Totally.
Like, hey, I know you're a big Kurt Russell fan.
Yeah,
and we
he's
got
here.
him.
I mean, when he called here as Kurt Russell,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
And
Yeah,
it was
Cougar was
so
in a mood that day, and he's like, "That's not Kurt Russell." Nah. All right, Kurt, what do you got for me? Just like fucking with him. And there's Jamie Costa just trying to be Jamie Costa, all fun. He's like, yeah, And,
man.
Josh was like, fuck the thing.
No, I'll tell you what. My brother said to me one time, he goes, "You know what, man? You are so nice like 99% of the time, but then when you're an asshole, you're an asshole."
Yeah, that day.
That day.
Yeah, that day. Yeah, because it was like,
just like
your face was just so like, I thought, because when Josh was doing Guilty Movie Pleasures with Steve Simone, I called in as Arnold, and he was like so happy, and like it was like you took him to Disney World when we did it. And he's like, Mr. Governor. He's like, had this whole thing. I'm like, I thought that's what we were gonna get when Jamie called in. You might as well said it. Hey, I'm gonna have somebody rub shit in your face.
You nailed that. You got me. I felt bad for Jamie Costa immediately as I said, God, what's wrong with me? I just did not.
It was really good.
That was the day.
Yes,
yeah, because I thought you were gonna go along with it and start interviewing him as Kurt Russell.
My favorite thing is to like keep a bit going.
I know.
If I could keep Danish Christian Harloff going the entire show, I
know.
would.
That's why
You were
was
just
so
not
funny.
having it that day.
He's just in the mood. He was just in one of his moods.
Yeah.
it happens.
It was towards the end of the show. I get it.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Might
Was
have-
it? Was that the show you came in late?
It was the end of the. It was the end of the show.
I think
Maybe you came in late that day because you had like stomach issues or
It
something.
might have been around the time I was watching the Michael Jackson documentaries because those sent me like for a loop.
Oh,
and
you
was,
were,
I
yeah,
went
that
into
was
a
when the
dark
whole.
Yeah, that was a dark time for
That
you.
was all. Yeah, that was when the SMD debacle happened.
was,
yeah. Anyway, so a lot of history on this show in like 7 months.
Really?
Like
Has
150,
it been 7 months?
something like that. What do you got? What,
Yeah,
like 150. How many?
155.
We've done 155 episodes of this show.
I don't understand.
You know what's crazy is there's a couple pictures from Schmoes 200, which is like I'm sitting with Cal and whatever.
Yeah.
But the 100th episode, I don't know if you remember this, but I called in from a country concert in like Arizona.
Oh, right.
From
That
there.
was, well, it was Toad Hop.
It was Toad Hop, yeah. And I called in and I was like, man, 100 episodes, that's crazy. We're at 155.
How many Schmoes episodes did you guys do?
I think it was a total of anywhere between 250 to 300. Well, no, we never made.
over 3.
Did we make it to 3?
We had a 300 episode, yeah. It was a big old thing.
Oh, you're right. We did.
Yeah.
We did. That's right. We did over 3.
God.
Because we can't remember the reason why. Is because
50 episodes of the year, pretty much. 6
Schmoes
episodes.
was once a week.
Yeah.
The show's
Yeah.
5 days a week,
Yeah.
and we started at 3, and now we're at 5. So we'll hit 300 probably by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a fun run for sure. A lot of cool things kind of coming up, and the guests have just been getting better and better and better. And we're going to have another one in just a moment here, to where you guys can check out Ralph Macchio, to where myself and McCougs and Roxy got to sit down with him and talk to him. And like I said, there's a great story he told about Elizabeth Shue. There's some stuff that he talked about with Pat Morita.
You know, sometimes when you interview a celebrity, they are not aware of the fandom around them. And Ralph Macchio is not one of those people. Like, he knew the YouTube videos. He was talking about Zapka.
Well, he even said to us, he goes, "You guys are the hardcore." You know, he's like, "I could throw references at you guys, and you'll get it." Like, 'cause he was aware. He watched all the interviews with the guys that we did, and it was a refreshing interview, because he's just he wanted to talk. It was just a cool conversation.
And this season,
So jealous, but happy for you guys.
yeah. And this season of Cobra Kai, the body bag episode was my favorite episode.
Yeah, I don't wanna
Of the whole series.
Of the whole series.
It was mine
No,
too.
of the season.
Of the season.
Yeah, it was mine too, of the season. So I don't want to again ruin it for people, but it was great. So much so that even when I finished the episode, I shot over a message to John, and I just said whatever the thing that happened, and he responded, and he said, "They're just fans, man. They're just like super fans." And
totally.
They already announced season 3, right? Did they announce it?
I don't think they have announced season 3.
Come on.
They will.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what the numbers are. Do they share that kind of stuff?
I mean,
don't think so.
I don't know.
Not at this point.
But can you see it on YouTube?
Yeah.
You can see
YouTube.
what
But
the
you have
numbers
to,
are.
Well, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, but either so, you can
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what the numbers are.
Totally.
Like, from
Oh,
just-
I thought you just mean clicks. Well, they've.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're doing
I mean, I think,
season
but
3.
they also just updated something where you can't see every specific click. Like they round up the number or
Analytics
something,
and
or maybe,
stuff,
or
too.
actually that might be subscriber number.
Oh,
So.
either way, I mean, it's still their number one show, and,
Totally.
and it's the only show that people like. It's the only show on on YouTube that has that has a buzz.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the one that came out earlier this year too is called Champaign, Illinois. It was with Sam Richardson from Veep and Adam Pally from Happy Endings.
Right.
But
Good
that
cast, and I've never heard
great
of it.
cast, and it's a hysterical show. Nobody's watching it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have it because
What you were
YouTube's
saying earlier
marketing.
about the franchise.
It's right.
Issue.
It's the
Yeah.
franchise issue, and it's the nostalgia thing to it. And because the thing is that the way that they got people to watch was the nostalgia and we're doing a Karate Kid show here with the cast.
Yeah.
Everyone went in going Toy Story 4, going why. But after episode 1, you're like, oh, okay, I'm interested. Now I'll watch number 2 for free.
first
I'm
10
really
And
interested.
how often does that happen? Not very often.
Not very often.
Nope.
Yeah. No, because you don't have because that's the. And I had this conversation this morning on Heidi and Frank, because we were talking about Men in Black, and Frank said, "Well, aren't the stories done? Isn't there too many?" And I said, "I don't think that there's ever a time that you can say that about any franchise, because as long as you have the and now it's not easy, but as long as you have the right writers and director, you can tap into anything and do them.
Look at James Bond, man.
And there's been hits and misses.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been, Batman is another example. Right? Batman, people thought after Batman and Robin, just let it die, no more Batman, and then Nolan comes back and was like, more Batman, more Batman. It can happen. It's just a matter of Spider-Man. Look, Spider-Man's another one. They thought it was gone after. It's like, no more, we don't need to see it.
I never thought we'd ever get something like Spider-Verse.
No.
That's right.
Incredible.
And especially after, because you got Homecoming to me was great, and
I loved it.
I was like, you're not gonna be able to top Homecoming for a Spider-Man movie, and I think Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie that's ever made,
And
as
you
far
are
as
correct.
lore goes.
Yeah.
And I love Homecoming.
Yeah, me too.
But there was just something. It was the Spider-Man movie that I always wanted to see as a kid. But anyway, so
and probably the best one that's like an actual tribute to comic book fans.
Yeah. So
Schnepp would have lived for that.
Oh yeah.
he would.
I hope he watched it in another nerd dimension.
I'm sure he
yeah,
did.
Yes.
I'm sure he did. It was. I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah.
I can't watch it again. I've only seen it once.
I guarantee you we'll get some Spider-Verse giveaways.
Well, no, it's already came out.
Oh, that's
it already
right.
came out.
Right.
It came out a little while ago.
You're
I just
right.
didn't make a play for it. I should have.
Which one's coming out soon?
Is it time, Cody?
No, I just want to let you know that Cobra Kai has been renewed for season 3.
Yeah.
When was that announced?
Awesome.
May 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Shoot.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Cody. You wanna produce the show?
Yeah.
TV Talk hosts Josh Matsuda.
Yeah. And the worst part is the computer right in front of him. Here we go.
Fuck you.
Josh, do it with me.
No, I didn't.
Sorry, Riley. It was just there.
Hey, you got to take
I
them
know
when
you
they're
work
there.
really hard. I just wanted to
That's
give
fine.
you shit. I give
And
shit
you know
to
what was
this
nice
phone.
about that whole thing? I was zoned out off of what you said about Schnepp.
Yeah.
I literally zoned out, teared up, and then went.
And then I slapped you in
and
the
then
face again.
slapped me back into reality.
There you go.
It's, the best part about this whole thing was it's like, Josh, what show do you host on Collider TV Talk? Is Cobra Kai renewed? I don't know.
and yet the producer gets the shit for it. The host and producer of TV Talk didn't get shit.
Well, I give Josh and Christian enough shit.
Yeah, so
I
you wanna
rarely
give
get
some
real
around.
shit.
That's true.
Yeah, I
That's
got to
true.
distribute it properly, evenly.
So you're a proper princess of darkness.
No, I don't know. I talked about this yesterday. I know I've talked about it on the show before, but that place I told you about that I went to in Houston, Torchy's.
Yeah, that you're obsessed with.
That I'm obsessed with. So
I wish I would have gone.
Brad Gilmore sent me this hot sauce from Torchy's, and I've been
Bring it.
I'm gonna. He's sending me more because I'm obsessed with it now. Like I used to have the. I forget what my favorite. The Cholula was my favorite,
Cholula.
right? But this hot sauce is.
What's it called?
It's just Torchy's.
Oh, okay.
It's Torchy's hot sauce, and he's gonna send me more of it. I will bring some in
Yes,
for you.
please.
It is out of control good.
You're not coming to Taco Cross Saturday?
I can't. And we're doing a Schmodown taping, and then by the time we get out, I got to get back home. But anyway, so Torchy's still. I want to go back to Houston not only just to do another show at Booker's, just to go
Food
back
and
for
cities.
Torchy's.
Yeah.
Torchy's is it's the best. It's the best I've ever
That's
had.
what
So good.
Nick Mundy sent me. It's,
It was so good.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
I'm just gonna bring you tacos to the studio.
I'm down.
Sure.
I'm down. I'm a
Okay.
big taco. I'm a big taco fan. So let's do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. What time is it?
And pineapple pizza.
It is 11:36.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
it's
there
about
you
that
go.
time.
All right, listen. So first things, just to remind you guys that tomorrow, once again, reminder is that we're going to be on at 10:30 tomorrow. So 10:30 with Nathan Hamill. He will be here, and we're going to shoot the shit with Nathan, Dorina, myself, and are you going to be here tomorrow?
I am not.
You're not here, so
No,
Riley.
doing WGN.
And then make sure that you guys, if you haven't already, download us on your podcast form, whether it's Stitcher or Spotify or Apple, any of those things. And the Movie Trivia Schmodown, by the way, the classic feed, all of season 3. Thank you to Chris Clark. All of season 3 is on Schmodown Classic. You can get the regular feed on just the Schmodown feed, and then please check us out. The Schmodown Collision will be on June 22nd, live from Collider Studios, so you can watch that. And yeah, so please enjoy our interview here with the great Ralph Macchio. Do your comments, watch it live, talk about it, and then we will see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys. So yeah, you heard me talk about it, and I've been geeking out about the possibility of this forever. It is happening. The Golden Goose has entered the building. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the star of Cobra Kai seasons 1 and 2, and obviously one of the best movies of all time in The Karate Kid. Ralph Macchio is here. Hello, Ralph. How are you?
All right, man. Great to be here. It's been a long time coming.
I know. It's funny because, I when I walked up to you and you were just like, I told the guys, I told Josh, and they kept telling you got to come in.
Yeah, no, they did. They were cheerleaders for you guys, and because you're cheerleaders for us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, anytime you get the word out, you're fighting for the real estate of attention. There's so much content in so many places, and granted, Cobra Kai has come out of the gate so big and still building, but anytime we could, get folks cheering us on. So thank you for that, and I'm proud to be here.
Well, thank you. Yeah, man. Thank you for the show, because it's just been 2 great seasons, and I think that you've heard a million times before is that even yourself, like when this show is brought up to you, it's like, I don't know, it's very similar. When I got a chance to talk to Stallone when he did Creed, and he was like, when it was brought up to him, he's like, I don't know if I want to go back there and do it again. But it's who's involved and the writing, and
it's all the writing,
and that's how because it was the writing and the script to where you said, "Wait a minute, this is different than what I thought."
Well, it wasn't the script; it was the pitch. It was, and Creed was part of that discussion actually, because that's what made sense to me. I saw how they backed into the Rocky Balboa universe, the Rocky universe, without necessarily having to do Rocky 7. It was the idea of Apollo Creed's kid, so it's another perspective of that time, and that's where John, Josh, and Hayden were so clear on their perspective of the Cobra Kai entering the world through the eyes of Johnny Lawrence, and what those events of the famous story of the Karate Kid, when you change that perspective, what is it from another person's point of view? And the show, Cobra Kai, does that. It consistently changes perspective and prism. And that was part of what was the big sell point for me. 2, I believe that these 3 mensches were just good guys that wanted to make a show that they wanted to see, the fans would want to see. And they also, with Hot Tub Time Machine and Harold and Kumar and them all working on those, films, they could write for a young generation. Yeah. Because I was always saying, okay, it's great, these 2 guys in their 50s still can't bury the hatchet, but where's the longevity?
Yeah.
So I think that, and then we got these great young actors, so we're really blessed there as well.
Yeah, we had your daughter in.
Mary
Mauser.
She's adorable. She's fantastic,
She's
and
great.
we have a great on and off screen chemistry. She's just terrific.
Well, but she had never seen the movies before she actually was auditioning. I remember her telling us that.
Her boyfriend made her watch it.
That's right. He's a super fan.
He's
a super fan.
So were you nervous going into it with her? Like, okay, what if she doesn't seem like my daughter? She hasn't seen my mannerisms?
I didn't, she was just, the difference between Mary's audition and almost everybody else is her ability to listen. That's not an easy thing to do for any of us, and I still fail at that at times when it's like, okay, my line's coming up, It's the ability to sort of listen and respond, and that was just something instinctual with her, and so when we played those father-daughter scenes, I really felt that she was present, and that's she just has that going, as well as Sholo has, and Tanner, and a ton of our young cast. They really add a level to the show that it's not just Daniel and Johnny in their world. I mean, that's the that's a tent pole, and we want to keep that. That is the rivalry and where the center is in the Cobra Kai versus Miyagi-Do and the sort of battle for the soul of the valley, which is kind of a little slightly cheesy, heightened reality, but that's the Karate Kid had essence of that, and so all those elements are important to the components of why it's working.
Well, it's chemistry and all that, like you said, but it's chemistry with the young cast. But you mentioned, and you have to bring up the great chemistry with you and Billy Zabka, obviously, and before this, because I know you guys did a lot of reunion stuff too, but when was the last time you had seen him before you guys started filming season 1, and then like the first interaction of just like, this is crazy that we're doing this?
We talked about it. He came to me. I think I just finished. No, he did his Sweep the Leg video.
Right.
His music video.
Yeah.
Which he did a great job with. He asked me to be involved with from the get-go, and I was always arm's length with going back.
Yeah.
Because it turned out to be so special, the Karate Kid film, the franchise, and what it's meant to fans. it's easier to say no than to dive back in. And then when I saw the cut footage of it, I said, okay, let's find some place to put me in. So I was like I was not a first dollar in investor. I came after he got all his money and cut it together.
Right. Was he bummed about that?
No, I think he understood it, and he certainly absolutely, achieved and earned it, and to the point, where I saw his talent as a storyteller and filmmaker as well as the terrific actor that he is. And then so he initially said, God, I think there's room for these characters somewhere. And I said, okay, well then, let's lay something down. I mean, it's all about, okay, let me read it. You have to at least see it.
Right.
Everyone has an idea.
You don't want to taint what came before.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I had this wax on, F off video that I did, which is still 4 best minutes of the day.
That's in the bar, right? Is that the one from Comedy Central in the bar?
That's the one. No, that's the. It's the Funny or Die.
Yes.
All that stuff. Sort of the intervention of this. Do-gooder needing to badass himself to get relevant again. Right. A poke fun at me on my terms. It was fun. So then we met again, and he explained certain ideas that he had, but it never came to fruition. It was never, it never got to a place where I kept saying, dude, we have to, who's going to write it? Who's going to do it? I'm not going to write. I'm too in it. And with Cobra Kai having that outside vision, timing, streaming services being what they are, 10 years ago, you didn't have the ability to make a 5-hour movie that you cut up into 10 half-hour, easily digestible parts and could eat the whole pizza in one sitting.
Get nice and fat on it.
It was either what, a 22 episode series for ABC or an indie film or a blockbuster movie, which it's very tough to cram it to 2 hours and it not be about the Death Star and the Millennium Falcon.
Right. Well, the reason why, again, I think that Cobra Kai has seen the success that it has is for that reason alone, because there's so much development now inside of the characters in ways that we didn't know that we ever could need them. Right. And you look at what has happened with Johnny and Daniel, and even what's happened with season 1 and season 2, because there's that video I'm sure you've seen where you're posed
Who's
as
the bully?
Right.
The illegal kick.
That's right. And they take a lot of those elements. I thought it was brilliant. Where it's just like, no, Daniel's not a bad guy, but he's human. And there's sometimes
he goes a little knee jerk. He has a temper. He acts first, thinks later.
Right. He was like that as a kid.
And he did that back in the day. We constantly struggle. We constantly go back and forth with the writers, because I have no problem pulling some of the dick out of Johnny Lawrence, but we don't want to eliminate the fact that this. You have to have that balance. There we go, Miyagi. You have to have that balance in all these characters. And the one thing with season 2 is both Johnny and Daniel have good intentions. And then if you've seen all of season 2, it takes a hard left-hand turn. And now we have some splaining to do, some cleaning up to do.
Right.
They dive into the gray areas. We love doing that, where Karate Kid was so distinctively black and white, good over evil. Miyagi, Daniel, good. Kreese, Cobra Kai, bad.
Right.
So it's fun. One of my favorite moments is when when Zapka is explaining to Sholo's character about LaRusso and Ali and what I did to him and all that stuff. Right. And from that perspective, you're going, yeah, and that's true. From the other perspective, it's like, the guy just kept beating the shit out of this kid constantly. Right. That's bad. He's still the bully. Yeah. In that, no one thought when they saw the Karate Kid that the bully was the protagonist. But in time and pop culture, and call it the Barney Stinson, How I Met Your Mother of it all, and these videos like who's the real bully and was the kick illegal and did he need to spray the water on him when he was just rolling a joint recently? Right. It's awesome, man. That stuff is great.
It worked for
sure.
How
many times do people ask you to do the crane kick? Like how many?
Still to this day, this kid still asks me to do it.
The geriatric crane kick. They bring me a walker.
Speaking of which, so you did a lot of stuff though, this past like 2 seasons.
Yeah. There's a lot, and it hurts more every year. And I think they're teeing me up for season 3. I don't get to sit down the whole season, but the fans love that stuff, and And the stunt coordinator and the team we have is fantastic. How many times do I answer your question?
Yeah.
I almost backed out of that one. No, it happens.
I mean, here's the thing: is
when someone takes a picture, ask the guy to take a picture with you. Will you do the crane? They all want to do the crane. I say. My answer to that, and it's the truth, is the only time I do take the crane position, because otherwise I'd be on one leg for the rest of my life, is when the troops on the military bases ask me. If a bunch of Navy SEALs want to do the crane,
you do it.
I'm up on one leg for the Navy SEAls. That pretty much shuts everybody else up.
That's right.
Some people go, wait. I was in something. I was in military school. Is this card work? They're trying to. But it's one of those things that I put it in the Wax On F Off video, and then in Cobra Kai. Here's a funny story. Billy Reed's script. I think it was episode 2 of season 2. Episode 1, I think. No, 2. Sorry, God. It's all blurred. See, I told you, it's one big 5-hour movie where LaRusso has to sell like 10 cars in a day to make up for not being there because he's focused on martial arts and it's neglecting his business and his wife, for that matter. And in order to sell these cars, she winds up saying, hey, do you want him to take the picture doing the crane move? And we do this montage of me doing a picture with all these fans of LaRusso Auto Group doing the crane. And Billy goes, are you going to do that? And I said, dude, it's the character. Yeah, I'll do it. right. You of all people don't know there's a blurred line. Like, are you really a dick or are you Billy Zabka, a nice guy? It's so funny because everyone knows I don't do it, but it's like
But Daniel's going to be asked to do that for sure, especially in the Valley.
Do you think that you're more similar to your character, or that Billy's more similar to his?
That's a good question. We are very different, Billy and I. And we have such a great rapport with each other. We're good friends, but we will one up each other constantly. We do it. It's just part of who we are, and we play with that, and we play that for the fans. But am I, there's elements that he is, like he always talks about he's so removed from Johnny Lawrence, but there are elements that are in that character that are him.
Yeah. Like what?
Just his, one, he's an athlete. And, he's built like an athlete. He moves like and he's very careful, but I'm still, the China shop and he's the bull when we're fighting. Right? And he's very, and we work together very well, but, and he's got an element, a ribbing kind of element, not vindictive and negative.
Sarcastic.
But sarcastic, I have that in a different kind of way. Like the difference between Ralph and LaRusso is if I got my ass kicked once, I'm probably not going back. You know what I mean? I make for a much less interesting movie. Like, I had to fight on the beach, and I would have been back in Newark, man. I would have not been spraying water on it.
Right.
I'm not going to douse that guy.
Take the bike and ride it back.
Let's just go. And it was all Freddie's fault anyway.
Right, that's right.
He
It was
invited
Freddie.
me. But,
and his friend, he'll be all right. How do you know that? Help the guy up.
That's right. I think people ask me if I, more like Johnny or Daniel, but when I look at the show, sometimes I'm more like Amanda, the character who plays my wife, because she's like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
You're like 50. Stop.
Cut it out.
That's more Rob. I joke with the guys and the writers all the time about that. That I just, you got to step out. I got to step back into it. It's too precious to me, so I trust them and I dive in full force.
And it's a smart decision. Look, they've been just crushing it 2 seasons here. And 2 questions I want to share. And I know that obviously, and this is the same thing when the guys were on. No spoilers. I know you can't tell us anything anyway. But the question I had is, when was the last time you talked to Elizabeth Shue? How?
I know distinctively when it was. It was a long time ago for reasons that are just lives go different ways. There was no reason not to connect. I could say that about 5 different actors I worked with in 1983 that I haven't spoken to since. I saw her at the '86 World Series.
Oh man. Great World Series.
It might have been the League Championship Series, but I think it was the World Series.
She's a Red Sox fan.
Right. So I was on.
Right.
I was on the first base side of Game 6.
Wow.
I don't think this was Game 6. I think this was like Game 1 or 2.
Yeah. The Buckner? You were at the Buckner
I was
game?
there for Buckner.
That's
I was there
awesome.
He just passed. Rest in peace, man. And he shouldn't be forgotten for winning the batting title in 1980.
That's right.
Everybody
He's
just
a
remembers
great
the ball
ball player,
going.
but yeah,
hell yeah.
It's the announcer. Gets by Buckner.
He was my best friend on that day.
That's right. That's right.
God was on the bench for the Mets. But anyway, so yeah, I saw her, and I walked up and she was questioning, not directly to me, but she asked me why they did that to her character. Why did they choose? I mean, we said hello and hugged. It was great to see her, but she said, why would they ever just write her off in that way? And I think everyone involved was. I remember reading it and doing it. Just felt very. Okay, they have a fight and it bangs up the car, and I don't even remember what it was, but it was a one-off, just so she wasn't. They didn't deal with her character in the sequel. I really, I believe, on the day, just like with Randy Heller, who played my mom. Yeah. I think the producers at the time, and Jerry Weintraub, was very much, listen, I need the old man, I need the kid. If we make the deals, we make the deals. We don't make the deals. I'm paraphrasing, but I think at the end of the day, it just. There wasn't a lot of real estate with going to Okinawa.
Right.
I fought to get to get Randy in the what I call the second sequel, and then she's been in Cobra Kai and doing a great job. The 2 episodes, and season 2 is a beautiful scene. She plays Lucille Russo. And so I think Elizabeth was just wanted to know why that was done, and I don't remember exactly my answer because I wasn't at that. I wasn't a producer on The Karate Kid. I was a gun for hire.
But that was the last time. 86 was the last time.
That was the last time I saw her. Listen, her career has been incredible, and Leaving Las Vegas was just a brilliant performance and everything else. So is she coming back? Is that your question? Is that where we're going?
No. I can't answer because there's no way you're going to answer that question.
Listen, it's been in discussions.
Yeah.
It makes sense to dive into that. I know, and I think it's been on. She's given interviews because I'm sure she's getting a microphone in her face constantly. And so I think she's liked what she's seen in the show, and she's trying to figure it out, and we'll see where it lands.
What a reunion that would be.
Whether that's a simple thing from the periphery, whether it's a character in the show, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a story arc, whether it's, I think that's all up for discussion and what works. But it's very cool to have that much interest. Also, other characters that I'd love to see.
Judy.
Judy. Didn't we bury Judy? It only took a second.
That was crazy. That was crazy when just the fact is, I always remember that conversation because she always remember your mom in the movie reminded me of my mom. My mom took me to see that movie when in '84, and even that scene of she buries Judy. Every indication she reminded me of it. But the fact that you guys brought up Judy in season 2 was amazing.
That's Hayden, Josh, and John, and they were. Matter of fact, even when we shot that scene, at one point I said to Samantha, I say, she goes, Judy, and Hayden say, no, she buries Judy, and I'm like, I'll do it, but I think you'll decide in the editing room, but it just feels, let it be super smart.
Yeah.
Because he's having this earnest moment with his daughter, for it to be a callback and take the audience out of the scene. And that's what they at the end of the day decided.
Yeah,
it was okay to say Daniel LaRusso's going to coach, which was another one that took you out of it, but it was at the perfect time. Yeah. So they're very good. They're awesome at that when they put those flashbacks in, when they put the right music in, and like the Cruel Summer cut. How awesome is that?
Very different.
Amazing. That thing should be on the radio.
It really should. Last question before we let you go here too is that the great Pat Morita, obviously, and I've asked this for everybody involved in the show. You obviously had a very close relationship with him too. How do you feel he would have felt about the show itself?
I think he would have loved it.
Yeah.
I think he would have loved it. I describe that, I say this all the time, so it's probably for people watching all the stuff, they're tired of hearing me say it, but there was a soulful magic in working with him and the LaRusso and Miyagi, partnership. It was one of those special, blessed partnerships. The chemistry, the writing was spectacular, and it had it stood the test of time and was so important, the heart and soul of that movie. I mean, you could take all the pop culture and they get him a body bag and they take a worm for a walk, because I know you guys are hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
And all that kind of catching flies and crane kicks and waxing cars and all that stuff. But if you don't have that grounded sense of, surrogate father, son, mentor, a human Yoda navigating, helping navigate the young Skywalker through adolescence. You don't have those moments. The movie's just pop culture, and so that level of resonance that still resonates today was super important to me, that it was carried forth. And from the get-go with John, Josh, and Hayden, for me, that was important to have. I get it. I get the Cobra Kai of the show, and it's spectacular, but it needs to have balance, dare I say. And it does. And, going back to the Miyagi grave scene in the first season, or when the dojo is vandalized in season 2, for those, I don't want to spoil too much, but there's a confrontation, because it's a deep-rooted responsibility that LaRusso has going forward, and I think adds to the depth in his character. And I'm hopefully to go further in those areas in season 3 and hopefully beyond for many more. But I think Pat Morita would have been very happy, and I think he is.
Well, from a young Padawan to a Jedi Master, we have Ralph Macchio, Cobra Kai seasons 1 and 2. Can't wait for season 3, 4, 5, and 6. I am excited for it. It's a pleasure to have you. You got to come back when you're in town, please.
Yes. Thanks
we
for
could talk
having
like
me,
2 hours about the show.
Yes.
All right,
So much more.
so go and check that show. If you haven't done it already, you're silly. We've talked about it so many different times. You're a fan of this show. You get your head out of your
How
ass.
could you be tuning in and not watch that show?
At this point, go and watch it. Again, Ralph, thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
and
guys.
We'll see you guys soon.
You got it, man. Thanks.